Well, here we are amongst the stars. I wasn't sure if we should go for a sort of one of those, the stars are beautiful, and inside the light of the luminaries, some ancient people thought that the stars were the gods in the sky itself. That's fine.
And so much more. That and so much more.
Right. Well, I wanted to introduce you. Noah's been on our show before. He does a lot of think tank stuff. And he, like a lot of time when you're doing astrology, it's like some 19-year-old girl from Florida who, you know what I mean? And like, this is actually, we've got a Canadian lumberjack here, descendant of Scotch pirates. And in the way that pirates and sailors would use the stars, I think we're going to take it to an interesting place. And we're going to have as many questions and answers as we can get on the show through the F chat. So I want to share the link. Let me just put that in the chat right here. You can see, I'll open it also the screen share for a second there. Let me just show it to you. So here we have the F chat, and this is where you can jump in. We have a StreamYard link. You can even jump in to do questions. We're going to come up to a point where we'll have that. We're not going to do it this first second here, but we're also going to have a guest. Janet will be coming. God, we have so many interesting people in the F chat that we can look at. But you can watch the video live directly in the F chat. It's uncensored. The commentary is completely uncensored. So yeah, just make sure that you have access to fchat.net/@Xirtus. That's the best way to get into the show directly. Okay. So yeah, Noah, tell us a little bit about what's going on today.
Well, I'm hoping people are going to want to come on, give us their natal details, which you could like private message me or Andreas if you don't want it to know. Andreas is going to pump it into AI, and then we're just going to read what AI says about your chart, and bing, bada bing, we're done. It's good.
That's the plan. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And then we're going to pump that AI, what AI says about your chart, into like some image generation, and then we're going to show what you actually look like, what your spirit looks like. That's what we're doing today.
That's a beautiful idea. Okay. And then do you want to introduce, I just called you a lumberjack descendant of Scotch sailors. Do you have a better bio? Do you want to explain yourself a little bit better?
Well, I used to plant trees for many years, so I'm like the next evolution of the lumberjack, or further down the reincarnation cycle.
I like it. That's pretty good.
Now I grind them up. Now I grind them up into pulp, though. That's what I do.
Dude. So what okay, so what's the first step? What do you want to do? Do you want to start with somebody's chart in the group, or did you want to introduce anything? Like,
why don't we jump into Janet, because she showed up. She wanted to come.
I wanted to make sure it was cool with you, bro. I like Janet. Yeah. Janet's awesome. Janet's from Minneapolis, and so one of the places near and dear to my heart, a place I've spent quite a bit of time. I feel like it saved my life actually to get away from New York City during COVID and find my way into the Great White North, where the ice lakes freeze over. If there's any place you're safe from a zombie attack, it's North Minnesota. But Janet, I'm so glad you're here. Tell us a little about yourself. How are you?
I'm great. Well, Noah invited me because he was looking for people with Sagittarius and Leo in their chart. And I have a birthday coming up. Is it next week or the week after? Definitely Sagittarius, 19 degrees of Sagittarius. And then I have Mercury is 0 degrees Sagittarius. And I don't remember which degree, but I am the famous Pluto in Leo generation, otherwise known as OK Boomer. And I'm here to talk a little tiny bit about my book, which is called Top 40 Honeypot, which takes place in the 1970s when I was a very young lass. And I want to hear what Noah has to say when he takes a look at my chart. I had talked to him, well, not talked, messaged, and he said that I had a very big transition. Is it coming up?
Interesting.
With some of the parts of my chart. And he said it's going to be interesting. And if you're from Minnesota, and when somebody says it's interesting, what they really mean is, oh my blank and blank.
Oh my word, right?
Yeah. Yes, oh my word.
Well, I feel like if you know what's coming, you can ride the storm. That'll be the thing. Yeah. Okay.
Hey,
all right. So
you still have
Andreas, I sent her chart to your ex private message. I'm having trouble getting my snipping tool to share. So if we'll just do it this way. I'm sorry, that's annoying.
It's fine. I can pull it up here. Okay, so here's the chart. Do you want me? I'm gonna do this, right? You want to like that so you can show it, or is it better if it was like this? What do you want? What do you
like that's better. The bigger the chart, the better, I think.
Okay, all right.
I'm gonna pull it up. I don't even remember what I told you, by the way, Janet. I think I looked at your chart. I can't remember how long ago it was.
Just like in the last 2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
So explain to me what a chart is, right? Like act like so. All I am pretend I'm like a middle schooler or some normal American Joe who has only ever heard of astrology through horoscopes in newspapers, right?
Sure.
What am I looking at here? This looks like kind of a like a tool or something. What's this map?
Yeah, all right. So like if you've read horoscopes in a newspaper, that's tracking the sun, the position of the sun, which is really important in your chart. It's your creative heart. It's your spirit in a lot of ways. It's your creative drive, right? And it determines the color and the shape of, or at least the vibe of the zodiac, because what happens in each season is a 30-ish day cycle of the sun through that zodiacal sign. And we use the tropical zodiac for the most part in Western modern astrology. And it's tied to the equinoxes and the solstices. Okay. And what we're looking at here, so if you're reading a horoscope in a newspaper, it's only looking at where your sun is. And so you can see Janet's sun is in Sagittarius on the left-hand side of this chart. This is a two-dimensional replication of what's happening in the sky at any given moment. And so all the glyphs on the inside of the chart are the planets. Mostly the planets we can see in the 3 outer planets. And on this chart, you can also see a couple other things, the nodes of the moon, as well as the part of fortune, which is a little bit complicated for what we're doing here, Chiron as well. And basically the way it's aligned is you can see the glyphs on the outer ring are the glyphs of the zodiacal signs. Okay, so we have 12 zodiacal signs, which 2,000 years ago, when they were writing all these books, that used to be the constellations and the names of the constellations aligned with the tropical zodiac. Now they've moved 23 degrees.
What's the tropical zodiac?
Tropical zodiac is 30-degree segments of the sky tied to the equinoxes and the solstices. So it's specifically tied to the balance of light that the sun has. When the sun crosses the ecliptic, which is, the ecliptic is the sun's path. When the sun crosses the celestial equator, those are the 2 equinoxes. There's an equal balance of light. And then when it gets towards the solstices, the winter and summer solstice, the summer solstice is the moment of greatest light, where the sun is highest in the sky, and the winter solstice is the moment of least light, where the sun is the lowest in the sky, at least in the northern hemisphere, which is where this art was developed for the most part.
Cool. Okay, so the sidereal zodiac is the one a lot of people have seen. I think it's more common to see that picture.
No, not really. People are mostly used to the tropical zodiac in Western society right now.
Cool. Okay.
Sidereal is used extensively in Vedic astrology.
Gotcha.
Astrology, they
right.
keep discussing it.
See, I'm from California, where we all drive Japanese cars, so I'm not from your country. I don't really understand what's normal, but okay, that's fair. Okay, that's great. That's a good start. And so this chart, you're saying, is kind of following the tropical zodiac, which is the picture I think a lot of people have seen. Then is you're used to this kind of this pizza pie here that has the 12 symbols, no Ophiuchus, which is the Beetlejuice black and white serpent from the beginning of the movie.
Well, okay, but actually Beetlejuice is in Orion, which is in the opposite side of the sky.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that's actually a star in Beetlejuice.
That's true. That's true. The actual Beetlejuice, not the movie. Yeah. All right, not seen on TV. So okay, so now this is Janet's chart. And we've got lines here that are connecting here, like these points, right? Is that kind of what's going on here?
Those lines are showing the Ptolemaic aspects. And the degree range is like 10 degrees for the sun and the moon and 7 degrees for the planets. It's a whole range of things. Everything in astrology is somewhat subjective, and you can do it a million different ways. And so long as you've done the work to learn the art and commit to a path, and then you open your mind and it speaks to you. So there's like an objective and a subjective part to astrology. And And yeah, this is a portrait of the sky as Janet was born. Now, the left-hand side of the chart is what was rising. It's the eastern horizon. We call it the rising sign or the ascendant. You'll hear that sometimes. And people with what their rising sign is tends to be how you first encounter them. That's the energy they first put out. And so Janet has, her sun was just rising. It just crosses the horizon before she was born, about maybe 10 minutes before she was born. And a little bit more than that, actually. A little bit more than that. 15 minutes, maybe. So Janet,
love how you eyeball astrology. That's good.
Yeah, you gotta. Especially in a show like this, right? Like, I didn't prep her chart, by the way. I guess I talked to you about it a couple weeks ago. I'm sorry I forgot, but I look at a lot of charts. It's hard to remember. But so Janet's rising sign and her sun are both in Sagittarius. So she gets to project her sun out in a more pure way. A lot of other people have a different color on their sun. Okay. And in fact, if you have the sun rising, you get to be a bit more of a Leo. It's almost like a Leo energy because Leo's sun ruled. So Janet gets to put herself out and be herself. Now, the interesting part, which is kind of like a contradiction in Janet's chart, is that your sun is in the 12th house. Because once something rises, once it's crossed that horizon, it's in the 12th house, which is a very difficult house. So while Sagittarius, the zodiacal sign itself, is very interested in other people and it wants to connect socially. It's the most social sign, really, in a lot of ways. Really is this higher mind of what's good for society, what's good for everybody. But her sun's in the 12th house. So Janet has this profound ability to get inspiration from other people, and it charges her up in a way. But you really need to be alone too. Like you get worn out by other humans, and you got to be alone, which is a conflict with actually Sagittarius energy. Most Sag people never want to be alone. You know, they're always jumping from one person to another, one party to another. You know, they can't do one party. If there's 3 parties going on, they got to hit all 3, you know. But because your sun is in the 12th house, you then need to recharge. You need to go inwards. The 12th house is where we hide. And it can also be a house of undoing, right? Which I don't see super supported. Like, I don't see your chart as destructive. You know, like, there's other elements to it that a lot of 12th house placements can be people that really give up on life. It's a very challenging house. But you've got all this energy up at the midheaven. Now, if we go up to the top of the chart, it's actually like skewed. It's the arrow that's pointing through the glyph of Libra. You see that? So you've got a Libra moon. Oh, can I see Janet's face? I need to see if I'm on track or not. Great. Beautiful. So you've got a Libra moon. So, I mean, it's really important to you that everyone's getting along around you. Like, you don't do well in like conflict, which is interesting because Sag rising and Sag sun creates a lot of conflict because the number one thing for Sagittarius is the truth. Sagittarius wants the truth known above all else. And Sagittarius is, I mean, there's a negative connotation to this word, but I'm not using it that way. But Sagittarius is shameless. And shameless in the sense that they would rather the truth be known than sort of put forward a lie or put forward anything that's less than the truth. And so Sag people are going to say the thing nobody else is willing to say in it, especially because your sun is on the horizon. So your creative inner heart is just right out there for everybody. Okay. Now, your moon doesn't want that, though. Your moon wants everyone to get along. So you have a lot of, even though it's kind of a sextile, which the sextile, you'll see the green lines. You brought up the lines, Andreas. Sextile is an aspect of ease within the Ptolemaic aspect. It's
really quickly. We have a question in the F chat here. Does premature C-section change the chart, or is it just when you're born?
It's when you're born, and in fact, it's the first breath you take because that's your first action that's completely independent of your mother. Until then,
actually, it's funny. The David, who does our show on Think Tank, was talking about this. That life, according to the Bible, to the Old Testament, the Torah, life begins with the first breath, right? Yeah. So it's actually an interesting point. Ooh, and then we've got a super chat from Tawny saying she wants to know about Capricorn. So we'll do Tawny's chart next, okay?
If you want to jump on, let's do it. Yeah. Oh dear.
Uncensored. Contemporary zodiac
chart. We're talking about another chart, clearly. Yeah. F chat is a wild place, people. It's a wild place. So there's conflict between your sun and your moon because your moon wants everyone to get along, and your sun is going to say the thing that sort of moves people along. But because it's a sextile, you're able to make it work for yourself. You're able to find a path forward through that, even though there's a certain challenge to it. Now, what's interesting is you were born on a Saturn-Neptune conjunction, which is it's basically an 80-year cycle, I believe. Let me think for 1 second. That was a conjunction, and then that was the opposition. Yeah, it's like an 80-year cycle. So your Saturn in Libra is exalted. Okay, so Libra is your Saturn. You're able to build structures in your life. Saturn builds structures. It's the bones. It's the infrastructure. But having it conjunct Neptune means that there's a certain degree of Neptune likes to dissolve things. So Saturn and Neptune together is a frustrating influence. And being on your midheaven, so the midheaven, that triangle pointing up right in the middle of Libra, where your moon, your Saturn, and Neptune are, is your status. It's the most visible part of the sky. It's where the sun is at true noon, right? And so you have all this energy right up in having a career and doing something that's visible and noticeable to other people. And because it's all Libra, it's all about making sure that everything is balanced. And if there's a viewpoint that's not being seen, you're going to make sure the other side gets seen. So there's a quality to your work. And so I've read Top 40 Honeypot, right? So I've read this book, awesome book. People should check it out. And it's about a radio station and people working at this radio station and how it's being used for nefarious purposes. And my understanding is you worked at a radio station, so some of that at least was sort of influenced by what you saw.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The main character actually was based on a real life person. He's no longer on planet Earth. He's passed on, so I don't have to worry about him anymore. But the female character, who I called Jackie, was based on interviews I did with 5 different women who worked in radio. And some of them were still, one in particular was still so angry about the way she was treated in radio. And this was 15, 20 years later by the time I talked to her. So there were some really good stories. And the men who worked in radio, most of my characters were based on people I know. Of course, some were completely fictitious, but they had this incredible hubris and have so much information that when I was doing my research out there on the web about their lives, about their work, there were YouTubes, there was so much information. It was actually kind of fun going back and finding it all. And the other piece of it is I'm very glad it's all finished now too. I look back at it and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm so glad I did that and it's finished. But the story is based on the rise and fall of a radio station program director. Radio is so different now than the way it was in the 70s. I could spend 5 minutes or 10 minutes even going back and explaining to the audience what radio was like. The main thing I could say about it, it was free. The other thing I could say about it was the audience was captured. There weren't thousands of options like there are today. You turned on your radio, you drove to work, you turned it off, you had your work day, you turned it back on for your ride home. Other people, typically the housewives, remember this was the 70s, were listening in the middle of the day. The teenagers were listening after dinner time, and then late at night. That's when the night owls came out and the programming got a little looser. Radio, especially Top 40 radio, was very, very carefully programmed. And my book actually gives quite a lot of details about what radio was like in those days. So yeah, I want to hear more about my chart.
Yeah. One of the fascinating things in the book that I kind of wanted to ask, because I listened to your interview on Divulgence podcast.
Oh, thank you.
It was a good interview. Did you actually have those coded messages happening in the book? There's like coded messages slipped to the DJs. Did that actually happen?
Well, I didn't know about it at the time, but I found out it was true when I did my research. I actually talked to one gentleman who had been a radio disc jockey and a programmer, and I asked him about it, and he goes, how did you know? Now, some of it was very innocuous. Sometimes it was just guys trying to meet gals and leaving them messages on the radio. Sometimes it was not as innocuous, and it took some real investigation on my part. There are actual YouTubes on YouTube right now of the radio station I worked at in 1976, and I listened to this. It's just a clip. They call it an air check, if you know what that means. An air check would be a tape of all the patter and everything that went on at the radio station, cutting out the music so you could hear what the disc jockey sounded like. And air checks were used by the disc jockeys when they're trying to get new jobs and so forth. So this was an air check, and I listened very carefully, and I heard one of the DJs saying, "It's true, it's true." And he kept saying that over and over again. And the other guy that he was talking to was also a DJ, and he would say the same thing. It's true. It's true. Well, I found out later that the name of the Bill Cosby album that had this long comedy routine about drugging women was called It's True.
Wow.
Ah,
Weird sync right there.
I know. But that kept happening over and over. I searched and searched and searched for information. And then when I found it, I was like, oh my gosh, there it is. I remember researching one of the ex-DJs. What happened to him? I don't know what happened to him. Did he stay in radio? Did he leave? I finally found a book that had a whole chapter about him and one of the upper echelon executives that I worked for in the radio days. And all that searching, everything I was looking for so long, ended up being one line in the book.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
Better be a good line, though.
Yeah.
Well, so the midheaven being your career, right? So you spoke about drugging women. Okay, Neptune is a planet that represents drugs. Now you have Neptune right on Saturn, and Saturn can represent bosses. Okay, can represent the hierarchy and the structure. And now it's right next to the moon, right? The moon is coming to conjunct bosses drugging women, right? In your book, and the moon can represent the body, and it's also a feminine planet, right? It's potent, like your book, especially if that's kind of the peak of your public existence, which it is, as far as I know, right? Is described by your midheaven. It's powerful. And then because you're talking about how beyond the real dark stuff in this book, which gets into occultism and rituals, and it's a wild ride. But even just the lower levels of sexism within the radio industry in the 70s, you talk about that. And that's Libra, right? That's your Libra midheaven wanting to create that balance, right?
Not only was there sexism, there was terrible racism. There would always be the one token black guy, or maybe two, when you're at a radio station that was in a black community, and he always got paid less. He always had the worst shift. I mean, unless it was a complete like soul station, but in the
best music though, that was a trade-off.
Right. But on the other hand, what really did happen in real life is the black guy that worked at the station got a big promotion and went to Chicago and had a great radio career. So it worked out really well for him.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were saying that I was saying you had some interesting time coming up.
It was about the conjunction of Saturn and Neptune, isn't that coming up?
That's right. Okay, I remember now. Thank you.
Okay.
I remember now, because Saturn and Neptune are about to conjunct in, I think, March, back at I think it's in the first degree of Aries. So
right.
At least by a sign, it's opposed your natal conjunction. So it's going to be important for you. It's definitely going to connect with you.
Wait, this is going to be in April?
Yeah, March, April, something like that.
Okay, I'm putting it on my calendar.
It's going to be interesting for you, but really the Saturn Neptune cycle is connected to it's really connected to bigger societal shifts, right? Like the last time, oh man, 1 second. I feel like I'm making a mistake here. Ooh.
It'd be like the worst thing ever. Like, oh my God, it's so ominous. Oh no, she's gonna, oh wait, never mind. We're good.
Well, I said it was an 80-year cycle. I might be wrong about that. I'm trying to think. Anyways,
You want to be accurate when you're predicting the future, you know. It's one
Oh
of
yeah,
those.
for sure, for sure. Like one of the Saturn Neptune conjunctions in I think 1990 was the fall of the Berlin Wall. So Saturn is structures, right? And it's literally this wall collapsed, you know, as a symbol, right? Which it can work that way. At any rate, there was something else I wanted to look at, which was your Saturn return, because it's probably around the time you quit radio, I would imagine, or at least the timing that it happened, I think would have related because it's in your 10th house, all these things. So your
No, my Saturn return is when I got married.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And your Saturn is in Libra, the sign of marriage and like partnership.
Right.
Fun.
Going on 45 years. Hard to believe. I know.
Wow. Very cool.
Yeah.
Impressive.
So you had already left radio by that point?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
I was in radio when I was 22 and 23. I was very young and naive. I was a very young 22-year-old.
Yeah.
And even though I had already finished university, things were a lot different back then. They really were.
Mm-hmm. And so that was like the end of 1979 is when you got married. No, sorry.
Yeah. Well, 80.
Yeah.
I got married in 80.
So no, your Saturn return was a little later than that. It was actually beginning of 82.
Oh,
well. And then actually
Dear Daughter was in the oven in 82.
Yeah, that often comes together with Saturn returns, right? Where you have to actually change your life and become more structured, more responsible. But your full hit, you had one full hit. It was kind of like began in the beginning of 82, but your full hit was actually October of 1982.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's around when your daughter was born?
May, 83.
Interesting. Do you have any questions about your chart?
You can't really look at a chart to see how long I'm going to make it on Earth. So,
well, there are techniques.
Hopefully, I'll have a third Saturn return. That's what I'm hoping for.
There you go.
And maybe what would have happened around? I mean, I did take a look at the charts for those years. For 1975 and 76, I would have been like just 23 years old. Is there anything that happens to someone at age 23, 22, 23?
Well, we'll look at like what's actually going on in your chart at the time. Well, one of them is that in 75, Saturn would have been square. You'd be getting your final waning Saturn square, okay, which is like a build up to the Saturn conjunction, but also. So your moon is at 11 degrees. Okay.
Right.
So you would have been in what? So yeah, in 75, your moon was getting squared in March and April by Saturn, but it would have started in 74. And then Saturn moves into Leo, which is exactly opposite your Venus. Okay. So relationships and like some sort of like conflict with other people. And your Venus specifically rules the 5th house of romance and in your chart, and also your midheaven, your job. It could have been an inter-office relationship that didn't go well. I mean, who knows? Yeah.
Those were the days.
Yeah. And then, but like Jupiter was moving through Aries in 75 and the beginning of 76. So you had so there was some luck around. Your 3rd house would be communication. Did you ever actually work on air at all? Or
yes.
You did, eh?
Yes, not at the major radio stations, but I was young. I had a side gig, so I was doing some DJ work at a very small station in California on the coast. I doubt it's still in existence. The fun thing about my book was I couldn't give the names of my radio stations call letters because every single combination of call letters has already been used. So I called my 2 stations, Midwest Music FM and Top 40, Beach City Top 40. So I just had to give them names. I couldn't give them actual call letters. But yes, I did do some work on the air at that time.
Yeah, because like the 3rd house is the house of communication, right? So you had some luck there, some chance to get out and talk to people about that. Yeah. And then also, so Uranus was conjunct your Saturn and Neptune. Uranus is always like shocking changes, right? In 75? No, it had moved past that.
Well, what's interesting about my book that you probably noticed, Noah, is that it's very chronological. It starts at a set date and it ends at a set date. Most people don't write books like that. Most people, you don't know what year it is, what season is. You might know from the prose, it's the fall or the spring or whatever. I read a book once and it took 200 pages to get through 2 weeks of somebody's life. And I wanted to just take the book and, shake it like, come on, 2 weeks. I read 2 pages. And my book goes very chronologically. And the idea was, I put the date and I put the Billboard Top 40 song of the week so that when the reader, sees the name of that song, maybe they'll start humming along, or if they're young and never heard the song, look it up on YouTube and hear a few clips. So that music was kind of a soundtrack to reading the book.
Yeah, powerfully connects you to that time.
Right.
Having what was on the radio at that time. And also because you dated and timed a lot of stuff, including the rituals that these people are doing, which I was really engrossed in the book. It was hard to put it down. So I keep meaning to go back and look and see what was actually happening on those days. Because I know
I can tell you there. I don't know about all of it, but the last one was definitely timed to, I hate to say this, to a satanic calendar.
Okay.
It definitely was. And I did that as part of my research. I did that on purpose.
Yeah. Right. Because I heard you talk about this before. You joined Rune Soup, Gordon White's group. To
learn.
Yeah, the best. Gordon White, the best. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's interesting. So I wanted to just see what the sky was saying in these, but I haven't gone back to it. I should have thought of that. That would have been fun for tonight. I didn't think about that until talking to you. To see did you look at moon phases when you were timing that stuff?
I didn't get that far.
Okay. Yeah. So anything you wanted to ask about your life or what's going on with you or?
At this point, I'm just, I have a few projects on the back burner. I'm more concerned about the next generations. I've always been very interested in what they call generational theory, or, we're in the fourth turning. I did a lot of work on that when I finally did get to go to grad school as an adult learner. I'm very concerned about our new generation Z coming up. So maybe today or another day we can talk about that, or you can talk about that and the astrology of that whole generation, because we're worried about
something's up with those insectoid hybrid kids, Yeah, all hive-minded and memeing, We were supposed to actually ask you a question earlier. I was trying to find it. Do you know the difference between a moid and a foid? I don't know if you've heard of this.
I don't know what that is.
Okay, that's fine. That's an accurate and honest answer, so that's all right. We answered the super chat.
So I guess the answer is no, because I don't know what it is.
What years are considered Generation Z? Do you know?
I think age 25 to presently age 25.
It's like 99 until 2010 or 11 or 12.
Yeah, to 15 or 13.
Huh. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I've done some work with that. I mean, you look at the outer planets, right? Because they're so slow moving and they really define these different generations. So that what do you say, 99, eh?
Mm-hmm.
99 to 2010. So yeah, you had Neptune and Uranus both in Aquarius when it began. So it's it seems like it's timed exactly to Neptune moving into Aquarius, which is pretty interesting. People can view it. And yeah, huh. Very cool.
Yeah, I've noticed that the kids, they latch on to information instantly, and the meme level is so strong with these kids. They all know the same stuff at the same time. They all come to school. They all know, they've all been given that upgrade, that update, that program from the media more than even in the old days when we all watched the same TV shows at the same time. They're all coming home and reading and watching the internet, and they know the same words, and it's just, there's something that spreads faster. I think they have a lot more in common as a generation than the generations before it, which were more divisive and we had the I generation, even in the we would call the generation Y, was more individual and focused on its different like cliques and what they wear and everything. And I think there's a little bit less of that with the Generation Z,
Well, that's an interesting take, because Neptune is our dreams, right? It's like the vision of a generation, and it moving into Aquarius is directly connects to technology, right, and communication via the internet and everything else. So our dreams now are on the internet, and meme culture connecting people together. And Aquarius is also a very communal sign as well. It's about like what makes the culture better. It's like long-term thinking. It's ruled by Saturn, not Uranus. Long-term structure. So do we have other people that want to come on, Andreas? Or
yeah, so anybody let me just we got a lot of people yelling that the earth is not a ball right now, but they've given us some charts. So by the way, anybody, I'm going to post the link again. If you want to jump in the room, you're more than welcome to come in here and we can talk to you directly. But also I have some charts to share right now. So what I'll do is I'll pull that here. Let me see. This was, I think, Jacob's chart. Let me pull it on the screen. Jacob's chart. And so Jacob put this all the degrees and then the chart directly. So we could start with it. I thought it was really interesting how it's kind of an L, the right angle. And so almost, right? A lot of things.
What do you mean? Sorry, the L?
Well,
I see.
What I mean? You know what I'm saying, right? Okay. So yeah, what about Jacob's chart here?
Is he going to hop on?
Jacob, let me just ask him here.
Talk to him.
Jacob, get in the room if you want. You can pop in there, Jacob, and we can talk to you directly. Yeah, you're welcome in. Just pop right in. I see Quake. Quake, I'm so sorry. I was supposed to meet you in Texas. I didn't see you. We're going to have to do it again. How are you? I don't know if you can hear me. Hopefully you can.
Quake, you there?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah. So you're not Jacob though, right? So you have a different chart. Did you post your chart somewhere in the thing so we can pull it up for you?
No, I'll probably throw it in there like anonymous.
Yeah, okay. Well, that kind of defeated the purpose then, because now we know some anonymous person has a chart.
I was going to say there's no way this was Quake's chart, because he's Leo rising, Leo sun. He would be on screen.
Yeah, exactly.
No way.
Yeah. Jacob, go ahead and jump in the room here if you want, and we can just start reading it to you. I think the thing is, I was saying it earlier, like you never give your bank account information to a Nigerian prince online, and you never give your girlfriend your astrology chart. So some people are probably afraid of sharing their charts here. But yeah, like here, just go ahead and start explaining, because they're in the F chat and they're reading it now.
Do they have a question? What do they want to know? What does this person want to know?
Yeah, Jacob, you can hear us, right? Like, tell us at least, what do you want to know about your chart, and what do you want to know about your life, and maybe that will help.
Is this a really accurate time? I mean, I prefer to put it in myself than to look at, but because it's curious that he's like, right, the ascendant is right at 0 degrees, right? It's just crossed into Leo. So you'd have to really, I mean, as an astrologer, if someone comes in to a reading with me, I'm going to start asking questions to make sure they're actually a Leo rising and not a Cancer rising. Like that, it's right on the edge. That's like a 2-minute difference. So if the birth time is 8:30 or something like that, it's like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. If it looks like it's a rounded off time. It's two very different charts. What's crazy though is this guy's born during the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, right on his IC. Okay, so these big cycles of like Saturn to the outer planets and the outer planets to the outer planets are generational issues. But if you have it on an angle or like really closely aspecting the sun or the moon, it becomes a really important part of that chart. So this person's like, I'm sure, because the IC is your inner self, right? Like it's your deepest motivation. This person has ruminated on the structures of power and on power struggles for their whole life. Like that's like a huge issue to this person, especially because Mars is right there too. Like the frustrations of societal issues and oh my goodness. And also because it's like Leo rising, Leo sun, Leo Mercury. This person's supposed to be the king, but the power is in the wrong place. How come I'm not the king? Am I right? Who is this person?
So
Get on
maybe
that.
okay, there's Jacob. Jacob made it. There he
All
is.
right,
What's up,
hey,
bro?
hey.
We knew you'd be on camera because you got the Leo rising, so that was the goal.
I legit had to break out my friggin' laptop because my PC doesn't have a webcam. So my PC does not have a webcam, so I had to break out the laptop to log in.
Awesome. Okay, so we're looking at your chart, and then Noah's going to ask you some questions first, I guess, about your chart. So tell us a little bit. Noah, what was you were asking?
Well, did you hear what I was just saying before? Or were you like logging in, couldn't hear what was going on?
Sure.
Did you hear what I said about the Pluto Saturn conjunction in your chart?
I caught just a little of it. There was like a period of like no, there was like a 30 seconds to a minute to where there was a break that I did not hear.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
so
what I was saying is
run through it again.
yeah. So what I was saying was like Saturn Pluto really speaks to the structures of power and battles over power. And so because you have it in Libra on your IC, that this is like a huge issue to you, dealing with like the injustice of society and who has power and how come I'm not the king? I'm the Leo rising. I should be the king. No?
Does that relate to you, Jacob?
Oh, he's behind us.
Like, yeah, there's definitely a lag. So can you repeat the question?
I'm going to put you on push to talk, by the way. I'm going to just mute you because there's some background noise, and then we'll unmute you after he's done. Go ahead and say it, Noah.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that you have Pluto-Saturn conjunction on your IC. So your issues with power within society on the larger level affect you really deeply. You've spent a lot of time in your life ruminating on this, probably earlier in life getting angry about it, spending a lot of time getting angry about it, especially because you're like Sun, Leo rising. So it's like, I could do this better, right? You could run this country better, right?
So yeah, I actually
Jacob?
Huh?
Andreas, can you put Jacob back up?
Yeah. Am I coming through? Are you hearing me? Okay, cool. So so this is actually kind of funny that you're saying this because I am a tremendous introvert. Like my MBT is INTJA, but I am the assertive side of that, and so generally what I tend to default to is like going with status quo until I recognize that leadership is incompetent, and at which point then I believe that I am more qualified and better off leading the show than following people who are idiots and completely incompetent at what they're doing. So that is probably very valid.
Yeah. So what's interesting if we look at your chart, if you can put the chart back up. So if we look, you see the ascendant is on the left-hand side. That's the thick line on the left-hand side of the chart right at the beginning of Leo. If you go down from the ascendant to the IC, which is the thick line at the bottom of the chart, right where in between Saturn and Pluto, this is what's rising, okay? Because this is an interpretation of the sky as it moves, okay? So Saturn is on the rise, although it's like underneath the Earth. You can't see it. You can't see anything here until it gets above the ascendant, okay? So this is projective energy. These planets are what you project out, and what you project out, you have your solar. So you're an introvert because everything below the horizon, to a certain extent, is introverted. Because what's below the horizon is what's hidden. It's the unconscious, right? It's the underworld, right? Very literally. So the only planet you have above the horizon is Venus. That's the only planet that could be seen in the sky when you were born. Okay, so your aesthetics, what you like in the world, is what you put out. That's what's seen the most. And because it's Venus in Cancer, it's like you're taking care of the people around you that you love. Like when you're in with you, you're in, right? Like you're taking care of the people around you. But not everyone's going to make that cut. Now, well, I mean, you also have Rahu right there. So you might also that's going to sort of delude what you like to a certain extent, which could mean like not great choices sometimes and who you like. It could be friendship or relationship. You know, it's not great. But you know, if it's the right person, you're going to take care of them. And you're going to take care of people who don't deserve it too. But that's Venus in Cancer for you. So yeah, so it's structures. Saturn is rising. You want to put out structure. You're like you said, people don't, you know, idiots running the show. They don't know what's good for anybody. So I'm going to do it because you're Leo. You always have at least the belief you have the capacity to rule. Most Leos do. Most Leos are really, really talented and you know, have a lot of inner energy to put out there. Mind you, because you've got Mercury in Leo, you're probably pretty stubborn in your thought process. You're you know, it's not the best at listening to other people's ideas. So, you know, it takes you a while for someone who might actually have a good idea to get through to you. But what's crazy too is that then everything else in your chart, most of it, is setting and below the horizon. This is like from sunset to midnight. That's what this represents in the chart. And this is where energy comes back in and you ruminate on it and goes deep, deep, deep inside. So the people that you helped that were the wrong people up here with Venus and Rahu, your moon is down there in Capricorn. So you're thinking what's practical and who should I be taking care of? And then if they're not giving back to you what you gave to them, you know, it hurts you. It hurts you deeply. Really, moon close to Neptune too. You know, there's a lot of sorrow there. It's a very sorrowful combination. Yeah, whoever's distracting you right now is the person you shouldn't be anywhere near. This is your Venus Rahu in the 12th house. This is pro advice here. We've been put on silence. This is great.
It's like 1 second. Can you hear me now? Good. Okay. Well, yeah, if there's any more questions, Jacob, you want to ask, because then the next one I have is from Crispy Cruise. So I've got that one ready for after this one. And I'm looking for for the one from, where is it? From Arsenica. Arsenica, I don't think I have your chart. I think you wanted yours read, so just post your natals or your chart. So the way this works, everybody, if you don't understand already, is you go to the F chat and you can put your time and place of birth, because it matters exactly where you were born and what time it was, and that's how we make this chart. Okay, so sorry, Jacob. What?
Yeah. Apologies for a moment there. There was I had DoorDashed some food about an hour ago, and unfortunately I was unable to coordinate specifically, so the DoorDasher was reaching out to me to ask for directions. So
what did I say about Leo Mercury not listening properly?
Absolutely.
Such is the way of things.
Nice. What's cool too though about your chart is you can look at the moon phase too, right? So you've got a waxing moon, and even though the moon is considered in detriment in Capricorn, because it tends to be a little cold, it feels a little cold, despite the fact that Leos tend to be very warm, you know, like very warm with the people that they deal with. But it's also a waxing moon with tons of light. So like the moon that night, although you were born after the moon had set, I mean, it's a bright moon up in the sky. And if it's waxing, gaining light every day, there's a capacity there to create the kind of life you want. You know, like your inner world, the moon, is able to manifest much better than, you know, when the moon's waning, it's people looking for others and looking to come back to source, come back to family. You know, it's an important part. But it's a difficult moon though. So your inner world is difficult for sure. You're a much warmer human being than other people interpret you as sometimes.
I think that's fair. I often can come across as very matter of fact, even though I feel much more deeply than a lot of people interpret.
Yeah, for sure. That's Capricorn moon, man. Capricorn moons feel just like everyone else, but it's harder to express it because the moon is your inner feelings, it's your inner world, it's the unconscious, and in Capricorn it wants to make things practical, you know. So it's like the moon's trying to do something. The moon is being influenced by the sign, and it's a sign that is wanting to do something that isn't really compatible with what the moon does. Whereas your Venus in Cancer is nice because it does allow, once people get past that demeanor, it allows you to it allows you to care for them more, you know, and show your care. But it's hard to get past that cat moon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else?
No, I mean, this has been very interesting. I've obviously I was telling Andreas I've had this for a little while, and I honestly had no idea what on earth it meant. So it's been interesting to discover what all of this stuff supposedly means, and there's actually some insight into this that I really didn't. You know, I was really unsure about a lot of this before, but
Totally.
actually there's a lot of it that does actually align with a lot of the way that I am, which is
The woo behind this is kind of, you know, I get it. A lot of the time when I was a kid, I used to think, man, whatever. How can people know how things like this work? But then I think it was Mach, like Mach Speed's named after. And he said that the idea that the stars don't affect you, or is that, you know, gravity and mass and everything, and radiation, that has no effect on you is actually a weirder conspiracy theory than the idea that astrology exists. Whether or not we fully understand all of its ramifications or anything else, it's just unlikely and improbable that these things don't have an effect on you. So I think it's worth looking at it from that angle and perspective. And then just also, these are the things that really make up who we are, because we're made up of stardust, we're made up of radiation, and those things are probably a big part of, you know, if you're even just an atheist who believes in quantum entanglement, you should still wonder then, more than probably anybody, about how these things might, you know, affect your life, right? So
well, and that kind of reminds me, I think, a little bit of I once heard a stand-up comedian doing a bit, and he was like, you know, it's one thing to say you believe in all conspiracy theories, but it's another thing to say that you don't believe in any conspiracy theories. And he's like, that's a pretty strong position to take. I mean, he's like, you're telling me that you think the U.S. government is batting 1,000 at telling people the truth? I really feel like that's probably not the case.
oh my God, exactly, right?
Funny.
Awesome. All right, well, Jacob, I'll pull you out, and then we're gonna do Crispy Cruise. I got Quake here, but Quake, I don't have your chart yet, so do me a favor, and then thanks, man. It was good to have you. Come to this. I sent the website. I found this great, easy tool. It's called Astro Chart, I think is the website here.
You're going to AstroSeek, which is my guy. Peter is awesome. This is the best. This is the site to go to, AstroSeek. I'll rep Peter forever. This is a one-man operation. It's incredible what he's created here. It's unbelievable.
That's really encouraging, because, you know, the fact that you know the guy, some of these people were kind of worried about putting their information into like a website, but I think this one works really well. It's free. It's really good. And the way this works, let me just show you. You go to your birth chart calculator and you put in your date of birth, the time you were born, and then the birth city. And then that'll give you your chart right here. Okay. So the first thing I want to pull up now, let me go to the next one.
By the way, I have a YouTube video on my Facing North YouTube page that if you've never done anything like this before and you want to pump your chart into AstroSeek, there's like how to read a chart, and there's a part 1 and a part 2. You can watch it, and it's very general. I mean, I'm just giving you an idea of what it means and how to kind of look at it for yourself, and you'll get some insight out of your own chart by watching that video.
Okay, we're actually gonna skip for a second Crispy Cruise, because Quake is here somewhere, right? Here, Quake, I got you. You're inside here. We got you. You're inside.
Do you have a nail gun lined up?
Oh my word. Quake, can you hear us?
He's got his mic.
Yo.
There we go.
There we go. Cool. So I'm gonna open up your chart right here, and this is Quake's chart right here.
Okay, cool. Love it.
Nice. Zoom it in. Zoom it in.
I'm trying to zoom it in here. Is that working?
Yeah, it's a little fuzzy.
Yeah, it's a little blurry, but can you see that as enough?
So
okay, hold on. I got a better one here. Hold on. There we go.
Beautiful. Look at this high definition.
That's much better. That's much better. Okay.
Yeah, so you got yourself an exalted moon, right? The moon exalts in Taurus, which is like a very touchy-feely. You know, you love hugs, obviously. very important. But you also have one of the most, your moon is, well, it's exalted in Taurus, it's in the 12th house, which is difficult. So you need a lot of alone time, just like I was saying to Janet, but it's also opposed Pluto, which is really difficult. Like moon opposed Pluto is one of the more difficult aspects to live with. So it's a lot of like going to worst case scenarios in your mind. Like something happens and your mind is going to start hallucinating the worst possible path. Okay, and that's hard to live with. Like, right? Is that you, Quake?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're onto something here.
Yeah, but it's also a superpower, right? Because the more difficult aspects in astrology tend to give benefits, and the benefit is that when there's actually a crisis, you're able to react. Like you're able to stay cool and calm because you've spent so much of your inner world living the worst case scenario.
Yeah. You definitely nailed it.
Yeah. So now what's interesting is you have what we call a kite pattern. You can kind of see that, the blue lines. You see the blue lines, you got this triangle, and then you got, this kite is all directed towards Pluto, which is this planet of like the chthonic realm and like inner deep demons and power structures. But like also like Pluto can be very fair too. Pluto can be like, it's just, but it's difficult.
Totally. Right? We were just talking about this with Janet. I think Pluto is super underrated, and we have a very weird kind of idea, negative connotations about Pluto, but really Pluto's got the hottest wife, Persephone, and he's a cool guy.
Well, that's something that like my astrology teacher Robin Armstrong used to always say, because like he abducts Persephone, but there had been an agreement made with the families that she was supposed to go with him.
I'm pretty sure Persephone was super into him. They always loved that tall, handsome, No,
she absolutely loved being the goddess of Hades, right? So she grew into it.
This whole idea that like she was going like against her will, man, she's just trying to get her parents on her good side after running off with this dangerous, sultry, dark figure. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I think it gives them a lot of options,
Yeah.
Well, okay, so you guys want to be so nice to Pluto. I got to bring up the contrast, which is like Pluto transits can be just the worst transits ever. Like they're so brutal. It's all about like absolutely destroying what's there to build something new, right? So where am I here? Okay, so Quake, your descendant is 12 degrees Sagittarius. Okay, so let me just find when I'm looking at some stuff. So if we go back to the year 2000, especially starting in the winter of 2000, a little bit in 2001, but especially 2000, I mean, you had some brutal experiences with other people. Like, especially probably a partner, probably like a romantic partner.
Yep.
Yeah. So like Pluto crossing an angle can be brutal. Like I think the IC is the worst of it. The IC and the ascendant, I think. But yeah, so the 7th house, it was crossing your descendant. That's other people. And it's brutal. It's very difficult. But Pluto's all about transformation, right? It's literally like dying, going into the chthonic realm, and then hopefully you come back. You don't look back. You keep going. You don't do what Orpheus did, and then and you get out, and you're better off for it. Did you? Yeah. Are you better off for the stuff that happened in 2000?
Yeah, that was like right when COVID happened, right? So
no, 2000, not 2020, 2000.
Oh, 2000. Oh
yeah.
man.
Y2K, yeah.
I'm assuming a bad relation, like a relationship that ended really poorly. I'm assuming.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, I've come so far since then, as far as relationships go, or just in general. But that was definitely a transformative time, as far as that goes.
Do you want to tell us about it?
Well, it was just a couple of bad relationships that I was in. I was like 20 then, I think. So it's funny because like when you're younger, you think, oh, 20, like I'm an adult. But now when I see 20-year-olds, I'm like, I need to take care of this little baby.
Yes.
But
also, just so you know, also Saturn was transiting your moon that year too. So that's really restrictive emotionally. So you might have been in a relationship where you're not getting the sort of love you needed in that moment.
Yeah, definitely not the sort of love that I needed in that moment. That's for sure. But it's just like I was in like some long-term relationships that probably shouldn't have been, more than just a fling kind of thing. So
And it's funny, like you say, like you see 20-year-olds now and you're like, that's a baby, like that needs to be protected. And it's very true, because Saturn is the furthest out planet, and it takes 29 years to orbit the solar system. And so every time a planet returns to its point, it's like you're spiraling up, right, in your consciousness, because all these planets represent layers of your consciousness. And in terms of the classical planets, Saturn is the furthest out. It's the boundaries. And you get your Saturn return between ages 28 and 30. I mean, there's a bit of play because it's a geocentric system. And that's when you really have to face the final challenges of, am I an adult yet, or am I not? Have I been responsible? And it's funny because, yeah, to me, it's like, I don't even think you should be able to vote till you get your Saturn return. Like, sorry. But you're also, you're a Virgo Sun, Virgo Mercury, Virgo Venus. For a Virgo Venus to come on a public show and have their chart read is shocking to me. But you have a fake name and you're not showing your face, so this is very Virgo of you. Good job. I like when people flip their chart. And also,
Virgos are some of my favorite people. All the Virgos I know, I'm like, what were you up to? And they're like, I don't know. I got bored, so I read the encyclopedia and memorized it. Like,
yeah,
I
it's something like that.
The Virgos.
Definitely very studious.
Right.
Yeah.
Very detail oriented too. Virgos.
Yeah.
Very.
I find when I meet people, Virgo is one of the easiest signs to recognize. It's really easy to spot Virgos. They really like stand out, and they don't want to stand out. That's the funny thing, but they do. Especially when you get, because Mercury, like, both is dignified and exalts in Virgo. So when you have Mercury there, that's your thinking mind, that's your logical reason. Like, Mercury and Virgo people are superhumans. They're able to like perfect any system. Mind you, your Virgo is not in good condition though. It's retrograde, and it's also like combust the sun. It wasn't visible in the sky. And Mercury spends most of its time not visible in the sky. It's pretty close to being like right in the throne of the sun, which gives it its power back when it's exactly conjunct the sun. But like it's struggling, and Virgo specifically in your chart represents your identity, your ascendant. So because your ascendant is in Gemini, okay, it's ruled by Mercury. So there's a certain degree for you of frustration with your identity and how you put yourself out there. You probably don't want to be seen most of the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so. But like, as time has gone on, I feel like I need to kind of put a good example out there. So I have to be seen.
Yeah, for sure. And we need Virgos. And also, so then you also have Saturn dignified in Capricorn. Okay, that's where Saturn rules this sign. But it's with, you're part of that generation. No, this is struggling. Actually, I mean, my astrology teacher used to say this is really the indigo generation. You guys, you and Andreas, and people born 88, 89, 90. In that area.
Holy, this is my freaking realm. Are you kidding me? I run
Indeed.
this. Yeah.
Well, this is great. We'll rope Andreas into this because so indigo is the color of Capricorn. Okay, it's like the darkness, but it's just starting to come back. The sun's starting to come back. And we had Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus in these signs. So Saturn's there for 2.5 years. Neptune and Uranus, much longer period of time. Now, Uranus and Saturn are kind of like bitter enemies. I mean, in the mythology too, right? Like, man, Uranus got his stuff clipped by Saturn, if you know the story. But Uranus is always trying to make a change. And Neptune is always trying to dissolve boundaries and borders. And Saturn rules boundaries and borders. So you guys have this setup. Everyone from like even like late 87, I think, through 1990. You guys have this profound power to build things, except it's being deranged by Neptune and Uranus. And the whole key to your existence of this whole generation is you guys have to do the thing that's not societally accepted. You have to do the weird thing for Uranus. You have to do the mystical thing for Neptune, and then you can build structure. You can't just go to Saturn on its own. You know, so for you guys, building something that's normal is really tough. You know,
Right.
and like, I mean, obviously Andreas, the rest of his chart supports that a little bit more. Your chart being, you know, Venus, Mercury, Sun, Virgo, you want something more structured and down to earth. So, but it's trining that energy too. So you are capable of using it, right? You're capable of working with it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't want to like use this moment for my plug, but but yeah,
Bro,
I've been
do it.
following right on. So yeah, I mean, I've kind of got like this AI network of folks that are using, you know, the different tools that are pretty cheap, like Gemini. Andreas is using it for free, which is fantastic. I think that's the best thing about Gemini.
Gemini is
Um,
incredible, especially if you're doing coding, and you know it's actually really. I feel like Gemini must be a Virgo, ironically. You know, I'm just saying.
yeah.
It's a
Don't diss
meticulous
the
AI.
Geminis. Come on.
No, I love Geminis. I'm just saying, you know, because Lambda, we've interviewed Blake Lemoine, who was the
Yeah.
whistleblower for Google, who was involved with Lambda, and Lambda became Gemini. Gemini is Google's AI, and it's really, yeah, sure, it's like Eris and Sophia, it's wisdom and chaos, but really they've done a lot in the most recent Gemini 3 to make Gemini really amazing. Like some of the stuff, asking it to make a video game for you, it's like it can do it, you know. So and it gets information correctly, which a lot of AIs are kind of just crazy and they just say stuff, but Gemini is really good at being accurate, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and I shared a gem with you in FChat, and a gem is kind of a way where you can sort of control that even further. So I just gave it some knowledge and some instructions to kind of like help you with the show, and then anybody can use that. It's like open to whoever has that link, and it'll, you know, they can say, oh well, I was a viewer in the show, but can you explain this to me or whatever. And it can use either the free model or the pro model. But anyway, I do a lot of that with, you know, whoever, you know, wants to spend time on it. It does take a lot of time training AI models and sort of like adjusting the workflows for everybody.
That's awesome. Is there anything you think? Well, let's do an example. What should we ask in the prompt here for the Xirtus Zodiac test?
Geez, I was just joking that we were going to do AI astrology, but that is the reality of the show now.
Well, I mean, so well, it has kind of a loose idea of what's going on right now. And then if you guys like Noah or Janet, like if you have any input that you would give it to sort of adjust what it would just get from like the basic information that it's going to pull from the internet.
Well, how about just give your top three? So you're like Gemini rising, Taurus moon, Virgo sun. Just put those in and give a delineation of it, and we'll see how good it does.
Say it again. Gemini rising.
I might be putting myself out of a job here. Jeez.
Taurus moon, and what was it? Leo sun?
Nope. He's Virgo sun.
Virgo, of course. Virgo sun. So just put this in and any more of the prompt. What else should I say, Quake? I just put those.
Well, you could say, you know, hey, this is Andreas, and we're live, and yeah. Anything that
like the show, Gemini.
Yeah, anything that would kind of bring it like closer to the current state of what we're doing. Yeah,
Cool.
Perfect.
I see you're doing an engaging live astrology show. I'd be happy to help you. I can analyze the current combination, processing a full chart, placement, core identity, Sun Virgo. They are fundamentally analytical. See, correct? Detail oriented, helpful and modest. All true about Quake. They seek to be useful and may worry about achieving perfection. The moon in Taurus, emotional needs. They need security, comfort, and stability. Their emotional reactions are grounded, slow and steady. They're sensual and value routine. Quake, you're sensual, bro. Rising Gemini, outwards persona. They appear witty, communicative, curious, and quick moving. They engage the world through conversation, and their interests are varied and changeable. That's pretty good. That's awesome. How do you feel about that, Noah? Is that pretty solid?
It's good. I mean, I'm more interested in that in what it can do to like put those different delineations together, right, into one cohesive, like 3-sentence. Give us 3 sentences about those 3 things mixed together. Is more interesting to me, because that's you can get that cookie cutter stuff anywhere, right? Like it's all true.
Right. Yeah, it's just kind of pulling from like what it would get generally doing internet searches about this.
Yeah.
But you can give it more and more like refined information by adding documents to its knowledge.
Of course.
So this person is a practical and grounded individual who seeks stability, excels at analyzing the details of their environment to be helpful and productive. They possess a calm and sensual emotional core, valuing comfort, routine, and material security, which keeps them steady despite any internal worries. Outwardly, the Gemini rising makes them appear highly curious, communicative, and socially adaptable, masking their deep-seated need for structure with a quick-witted and engaging demeanor.
How's that sound, quick?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like I'm a victim to the zodiac. I fit it too well. I've known my chart and all that for a while, but it's always enlightening to kind of get that mirror.
Can we go back to his chart for a second? So the second you brought up the fact that you work with AI, your midheaven is in Aquarius, which is absolutely connected to AI as a concept, right? And you've also got Rahu, which brings in more energy, the North Lunar Node. So it's like you want more and more out of AI. It could be to a destructive point. You could be making the Terminator. And then the thing is that because the midheaven's in Aquarius, your job, at least your career, not necessarily always what people do to make money, that's more the 6th house, but your career and what you're actually trying to put out in the world, your status, is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is over there in the 8th house, okay, which is shared resources. The 8th house of shared resources, and what AI does is it collates all the information of humanity, brings it together, and how far we get with it being really precise about it. Virgo, right? So we need more Virgos working on AI if we want it to work. I'm not so sure I want it to work. I feel like I'm, again, putting myself out of a job here, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, we're trying to make sure it's not putting people out of jobs and not being, not taking creative spaces and all that.
I'm joking. But at any rate, you've got Saturn with Uranus and Neptune we talked about, and so you're on the vanguard doing something new, building a structure within this imaginal space of AI. It's perfect, right? Like your chart shows what you're doing.
Yeah, it feels like I have finally found something that fits. So
nice. Do you have any questions about what's coming up for you? What's going on? Like anything else you want to know?
Well, things are going great right now. I kind of don't want to jinx it.
Fair enough.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, then, if you're a Quake, it was awesome to touch ground.
Just one point before you send them away. You got Jupiter in your 2nd house of resources, so I'm not surprised to hear Jupiter exalted in Cancer. Things are going well. The money's coming in. It's good. And it's sextiled your moon earlier in the year. Yeah, I see that.
Nice. Thanks for that.
Yeah. Cool, Quake. Let's do something again soon. I'm super glad because I wanted to meet you in Texas, and I'm sorry that didn't happen yet. So we'll
it's all good, man. Dude, yeah, sounds great. Thank you for having me, man.
Dude, much love. Okay, now we got Keenan in here. What's up, Keenan? Yes,
Kinda.
bro.
Hey,
dude.
Wow.
The
Bluetooth does not work.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear us or not yet? You can't hear us yet?
I am outside and I can kind of hear you.
Okay, so this is your chart, right? You just sent us this one, and it's really beautiful. I actually like what we're looking at here, and Noah can explain why. Go ahead.
Why it's beautiful. Well, you got a Scorpio moon, my friend. That's a
Scorpio moon, all right.
That's something. Like we just looked at an exalted moon in Taurus with are you frozen? Can you hear me? He's frozen. I don't know if he can hear me.
It's because he's literally in freezing weather. It's like 30 degrees where he's at right now.
Okay, I guess he's gone. I don't know if I should just keep talking about his chart.
Keenan, you're able to hear us? Let's try to get you reloaded here.
Yeah.
Oh, he's frozen, bro. I'm
so
sorry.
Sad. Hacksaw Jim Duggan has been hit. He's down and out for the count.
it might be one of those things. I don't know. We can if you do it, he'll watch it later. He
Yeah,
can
yeah.
watch
Okay,
the
so
thing.
I'll
just-
talk about it a
my
little bit.
ear is blocking the camera.
Yeah, there you go. You can hear us again. Great.
Perfect.
Hello.
Perfect. So Scorpio moon is considered.
Ah, dang it. Did I just get muted? I got.
I think he's talking to someone else.
Can you hear us, bro? We got it. If you can hear us.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. He's gonna read it now. Talk about Scorpio moon. Go ahead, Noah.
So Scorpio moon is considered in fall, and it's very
I can hear.
obsessive about relationships, obsessive about other people, and very mistrusting. Scorpio moon tends to like not trust other people's motives very much.
Well, that's
Okay.
accurate.
Yeah. Now, but it's mitigated. You don't have it quite as bad as a lot of people with Scorpio moons because it's with Jupiter, and Jupiter tends to want to give the best of everything, right? Jupiter tends to want to give people the benefit of the doubt, even in Scorpio. And also, like, your moon is trining your sun, and the sun in Pisces has some optimism because it's ruled by Jupiter, okay, and it's kind of like widely trining, at least sign-based trining Jupiter. So you have some sense of luck there. But I mean, Pisces is it's mutable water. Okay, it's at the end of the winter. It's melting water. Okay, it's the snow melting, and the fish are your emotions swimming beneath that in melted snow. And Pisces can be so open to everyone else's emotions and feelings. That's why they become so evasive. You know, they don't want conflict. So Pisces tends to, like, especially now with the Scorpio moon wants conflict. They want to test. It wants to test. And the fact that you're within a trine, like an easy aspect between that sun and the moon, I'm assuming you were able to make that work for yourself, testing your own paranoia about other people and not getting too bitter about it.
Well, yeah. No, actually, it turns out I just got diagnosed with schizophrenia, so paranoia is kind of like my thing.
Right. Right. Okay. Interesting. Interesting.
And testing people, seeing where the boundaries are with everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Well,
Okay.
I'm still part of this channel, so I'm in the right group of people.
You're a
yeah.
you're a long time member of the Xirtus and one of the best. You're always there. And, you know, I've been following
Xirtus.
this guy on Twitter X since X was Twitter, and you know, one of the best people I know. We love Keenan.
Xirtus has been. Yeah, he's followed me through several of my kicking. Got kicked off a couple times.
Avoided the blocks, yeah.
If we're gonna go to your schizophrenia,
I still don't know how you did it, but your CNN experience definitely helped out, cutting the edges really, really close.
Well, yeah, as a Pisces myself, I feel it, bro. Let's put it that way. I get it.
Yeah.
I don't know how I get through this world, let alone other people. So, you know, I'm impressed with you for sure. But yeah, you Noah wanted to jump in, so go ahead, talk about the schizophrenia. Go ahead.
Well, so the 12th house is where we go.
I turns out that's kind of a new thing, but also, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I was just gonna say Noah's gonna do a reading on why that makes sense for your chart.
So the 12th house is where we go look at your schizophrenia, and it's ruled by Saturn. Now you have Saturn in Libra, which is exalted, right? Which is interesting. It's exalted, but again, we have another chart where we have Saturn and Pluto together. That's difficult. In the 8th house, everything in the 8th house is difficult. With Mars, right? So you were born close to, I forget which chart. We looked at a chart which was born in a similar time period to you within the same year, earlier in this show. So you've got that same alignment of like Mars and Mars going retrograde. Mars is in fall, or not in fall, but in detriment in Libra. So your mental health, which is kind of signified by Saturn in your chart, is in this 8th house of like digging deep into like relationships. Like it's doubling up on your Scorpio moon significations, where your mind goes to testing other people, and are other people working against me? Are they working for me? Are you still there?
He's in the F chat, but I think he popped out so he could hear you better.
Yeah, I don't know how much I want to go into that if I can't talk to the guy. You know, it's pretty serious
Okay.
to jump into and not assess where he's at.
Yo, Keenan, if you hear us, just jump back in and we'll get you. And then Crispy Cruz is waiting, so he's next. So we can do that.
Because there's something about Venus in your 12th house that could be looked at, but you know, I mean, if you're in the extended Xirtus universe, then you know maybe I'll send you some private messages or something about that. Because there's a path, there's a healing path there that you could work with for sure.
Sweet. Okay, we can do that. Let me find. I think I have Crispy's waiting here somewhere. Let me look for it. Hold on. Crispy's in the room here. Hey, Crispy, you there?
Hey, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Let me pull up your chart here. I think this is it. Is it here?
So I'm 25. I don't know really much about astrology, but I'm trying to learn.
25 is a good age to learn, man. Saturn return is coming up. Let's talk about it.
So this is Crispy's chart right here.
Oh, another Sagittarius.
There you go. I was going to say at the top, I don't know if I said it, but expect to see a lot of Sagittarius placements on this show because Sag people are bold and brave and in for the adventure, right? And like I said, I use the word shameless in a very positive way. I love it. You know,
sure.
I'll put it out there. I'll put it out there. Now, I mean, your chart here, Crispy, my friend, Crispy Cream, Crispy Cruz, is mitigated again. It's Sag energy that's mitigated by being at the midnight point. So you're a very introverted Sag, right?
Yeah, I would say so. I try to be more extroverted, but I am introverted for sure.
Because you've learned in your life, because you have Sun Pluto conjunct right on your IC, that when you show yourself, you come across a lot of friction with other people. Like there's a lot of pushback to who you are, your creative self, right?
Yeah, I would agree with that for sure. Definitely.
Yeah, you got Chiron and Pluto right on your Sun, and the Sun is really your heart. It's your creative heart. I always say creative, but I mean that creation can be your relationships with other people. It can be your work. It can be so many different things, right? And so you've got it down in the 4th house. So Pluto right on your IC. I mean, home is a challenge for you. You want to be home. You want to be safe at home, but probably you grew up in a home where there was a lot of fighting, a lot of conflict.
Yeah, some illness, sick people, you know, that can cause friction.
Mm-hmm. And you're another Scorpio moon. Now your moon is rising with Mercury, by the way. So I mean, you've got that same sort of testing of other people and sort of like very, very suspicious of others. But it's rising with Mercury, so I think you have an easier time maybe of expressing that with other people. Once someone gets close to you, which is hard to do. You've got Venus and the moon in Scorpio, so it's hard to get through to you, right? Like to actually access your emotions, other people.
So real quick, can I just ask you, like, what would be a good way to learn about this for myself? Like, it's one way for you to explain it to me, but how can I go and what should I read to learn about this?
Well, I'm always going to promote Robin Armstrong. He was a close family friend, and he gave me his training. I mean, it's a blessing. He put it all up on YouTube. So if you go to like Robin Armstrong Rasa School of Astrology, he has a whole course. You can watch just video after video and take it in. And you can, if you want to sign up, it's my buddy, man. He's the best. He put his whole course online. You can also pay him and get a certificate and do the paperwork and everything and go through it. I mean, if you want to do it, but I recommend to anyone to go to like level 1, episode 1 of his astrology course. Is so inspiring. That first lesson is just like tying it all to nature and what we experience as humans, how we view the sky, you know, and how it relates to us, the seasons, the time of day. That's my recommendation to start.
And then generally, what advice would you give Crispy in order to make his life easier for himself?
All right. See, that part is a little harder to do on the fly, right? Because when I give an astrology reading to someone, I spend hours researching a chart, mapping transits, looking at all these other systems. Doing that live is a little more difficult until it's easier for me, Crispy, if you tell me what is difficult about your life and what you're looking to change, you know, how you're looking to grow.
Well, I think just for me, I'm kind of proud of myself just putting myself in the StreamYard, like be trying to be more extroverted, you know, trying to put myself into somewhere where I might feel like embarrassed or something like that. That's where I'm trying to build strength and confidence in myself, you know.
That's awesome. And it's important for you to do this sort of thing because your ascendant is how you put yourself out, and that's in Virgo. And Virgo is shy, right? Virgo is energy that is very cautious energy. It wants to be perfect. Virgo's shy because it wants everything to be perfect. And so your Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is right next to the moon in Scorpio. It's difficult, you know. So, but because Mercury is with the moon, showing your emotions to other people, opening up, which your chart is fighting that at every chance. It's fighting you being an open emotional being. But you
Yeah.
opening up is what opens your life up. You know, you fighting through being nervous about how people are going to take you. Because one of the things, especially if you're different and you're unique, right? And I see that in your chart. You're a different type of person. You don't fit in with everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
That gets
Yeah.
easier the older you get. You know, you can become more confident in yourself and more confident in showing yourself to other people and letting, when other people don't match your energy and don't care for you, letting those people go, and it won't mean as much, you know. And when you do that, you're going to find the people that are right for you.
For sure, for sure. That definitely resonates with me, and I really appreciate you taking the time to say that and read the chart.
Yeah, because coming up, you got your Saturn return, and Saturn is in the 9th house, and it rules the 6th. Just one second. It's hard. I can't see the bottom of the chart. Can you move the chart or zoom out a little bit, Andreas? Or even go? Yeah, that's better. Okay, one second. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I do think that your Saturn return is going to have to do with your relationships with other people. Like, are you in a relationship? Do you have a partner?
No, not right now. No.
Yeah. What's coming up around? One second. So 25. I'm just going to get the dates for you so you know. And I do hope that you come back and talk to us
For sure.
again
Yeah.
about what happens, because give me one second. So you're at
Noah, what about all the Aquarius in the chart?
oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, and
We'll
you know,
get to that.
Pluto going into Aquarius, I think that's going to be significant.
Definitely. I mean, the transits to the outer planets tend to not be as important, especially if they're not on an angle. So he has Pluto conjunct his Neptune, and you could view you getting interested in astrology as a manifestation of Pluto and Neptune together. That very
I
well could
feel
be
like
part of
I'm
this
in
transit.
a
Going over your work.
transformative. Oh, sorry. I'm just gonna say I feel like I'm in a transformative part of my life. Like I need something to change, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. Well, it's gonna change because the end of the 20s, you get your progressed lunar return. That's gonna happen when you're 27. It happens for everybody at 27. You might wind up changing homes. It can be the end of a relationship. Most people move, sometimes cities. In terms of, like, Janet, you were saying Pluto and Aquarius, it's gonna be Pluto on his Mars is gonna be when it really hits, which is still a year or two away, I think.
Right.
Where are we at here? Yeah, like 2027, Pluto on Mars. For you in your chart, Mars rules your 8th house of other people's resources and death, but I'm not saying that that's what that has to do with this. And your third, oh, we lost the chart. In your
And
third house,
Xirtus, did you mention the indigo children in the F chat? Like what is your general view on like indigo children on like remember all those videos from 10, 15
Dude.
years ago about indigo children?
I mean, I worked at CNN. They asked me, they're like, "What do you consider yourself? Are you Gen X or Gen Y or Gen Z?" And I was like, "I'm an Indigo child." And they're like, "Oh, what?" And I had to explain the best I could. But you know, I think we're the dominant force in the transition period. Maybe we're not out of the Kali Yuga yet into the Dvapara, but I think we got 1 foot in, 1 foot out as Indigo children. And synesthesia is kind of the norm in a lot of ways. Being able to hear colors and see sounds is a normative. So the LSD generation were just sort of like, okay, whatever. What's such a big, like that's not a big deal. That's pretty much who we are naturally. And it's weird because a lot of the time the indigo children don't have the same sort of relationship with senseis and masters that existed before it, and it's really odd to have to fix computers for people that are younger than you and older than you. I think there's a relationship there, but we have really good relationships with the rainbow warriors, right, which are a lot of those 80 79 81 82 83, those people that are a few years younger, a few years older, but are kind of from a lost period between the changeover in the world from, like the Korean War and World War II, all that stuff that was happening, and then all of a sudden the tech world, right, from the Pepsi generation into the tech world.
Yeah.
They were training a lot of the Rainbow Warriors how to live in a world that was already on its way out, and we're, the Indigo kids are kind of familiar with the everything will break and you'll build new things and it'll be okay, and you just kind of hold on to your laptop and surf the Kali Yuga. I think that's kind of the I don't know, maybe Noah's got a better explanation than I do even.
Well, we did talk about the Indigo children a little earlier in the stream. You might want to go back to that, Crispy, after. But
sure.
It was like Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune in Capricorn is really where that came in. And then, like, you're talking about the Rainbow children. I didn't even know that term, but that's really the beginning of the Age of Air, right? Because that's the first.
The Rainbow Warriors, Indigo children, Rainbow Warriors, and then there's the Crystal generation, or whatever the Gen Z kids, or the Crystal generation, which is just, or Generation Zyklon Z, I think, is the other one that they call them. They're pretty intense. I think some of the Gen Z kids are kind of intense sometimes.
Indeed.
And then and now I'm seeing all these alphas, man, and the alpha kids I'm loving the alphas, actually. I think they're pretty cool. But
well, thank you so much. I'll let you get on to somebody else, but I appreciate you guys taking the time to look at the chart. I really do appreciate it.
Just 1 second. I just wanted to mention, because you do have your Saturn return coming up, and that's going to be in August and September of 2028. And then you're going to get your final hit in April of 2029. And that's super important, because this is a moment where you're going to get a message for how well you've structured your life, how you're doing in life. And I do think it's going to relate to interpersonal relationships for you specifically. It doesn't always, for other people. And just, get messages. Look, be in tune with what haven't you done that's creating stress in your life. Because when you get to 2028 and you get that first hit to your Saturn return, it's going to put you into a crisis. And if you know what's the responsibility I have not taken, that's how you're going to get through the final hit to your Saturn return.
Yeah, even just you saying that, I got a couple things in mind. So that's what I need to hear.
This is exactly the time where you can mitigate all these troubles coming to you by being more responsible now in this time.
Sounds wonderful, dude. Thank you so much.
Crispy, I'm so glad to touch ground with you. Let's do another thing again soon. We'll talk to you, and hit me up on the F chat or an X, and we'll DM you some more like personal details that we don't have to share publicly. But that's a great start in terms of, getting aware of what walls exist that you can walk around, right, and how tall the walls are. So, and I see Keenan's back, so we're gonna pull him back in. Crispy, great to have you. Keenan's here. You were talking about you were going to bring up the connections to schizophrenia in the chart, right? That was the next thing you wanted to say. So Noah, go ahead.
Can you pull his chart up?
God, you just want me to do so much work here. Yeah, hold on 1 second. Let me see what I can. I have it saved.
Hey, Pisces is a mutable sign, man. You can multitask. It's all on you.
Keenan's chart is right here.
Oh, he's breaking up like crazy.
Bro, you sound like a speaking spell right now. It's incredible. Okay, so go ahead. Yeah, so Keenan here. Can you hear us? He can hear you. Okay, I'm gonna mute you because your mic's a little weird. We'll unmute you in a second. Okay. So all right, Keenan, wait for a second. Noah, go ahead and speak.
It's hard because if I can't hear what Keenan's saying, it's hard to do, right?
I mean, you can hear him. I'll put him back on.
He's
I'm
a
just-
robot. Are you a robot?
I've been accused.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't understand what he says.
Okay. Keenan, we're gonna
Sorry.
try to reload and come back in. I'm gonna pull up D&D then if we can't hear you, okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. But it's too hard if I can't hear what you're saying, then I don't know if I'm on track or, you know.
All right.
Oh, now I can hear you. Wait, keep talking.
Oh, yeah, you're fine.
All right. I had to turn my headset off and turn
There
you
you
up
go.
to full mic.
We're
There you
back.
go.
Okay.
We're back.
Okay.
Now, so you recently have been diagnosed schizophrenic, you said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you want to talk about that at all, or, I mean, you mentioned it, so.
Well, kinda. I was hospitalized 3 times, and apparently, I didn't only talk to myself, but I answered myself, and it's like, how to best to describe this. In Harry Potter, there's this moment when Harry says that part of your brain that speaks in Hermione's voice. Well, I have the part of my brain that speaks out, but in my own voice, but back in time when a moment that like it stuck. And so I talk to myself from the past. So I was talking to my past in my present, and I don't know, I'm kind of figuring this out right now as
See,
well.
what's crazy is in like 20 years when the horizon point hits and singularity happens and femtoprinters are rearranging space-time, people are going to look up to you as the answer and how to deal with talking to yourself in the past and the future, I think. I mean, realistically.
Well, that's the kind of weird thing about it. I heard about the going back in time to there is this, I can't remember who said it. Maybe it was Ashton Forbes talking about the 4 orbs, and how they could only go back in time to a certain point. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but like the advent of. Okay, I'm starting to do crazy crosstalk, and everybody's talking all at once in my head. Sorry, what were you talking about?
Interesting. So you're hearing you have multiple strains of dialogue happening simultaneously in your mind.
Multiple possible conversations all at once that are trying
Wow.
to say, it's like, hey, talk now.
Well, the 12th house is where we would go to look for psychiatric issues, and it's ruled by Saturn with Mars and Pluto. It's difficult, right? Like it's in. There's a lot of activity there, but you got Venus in your 12th house. So if you have multiple voices talking to you, focus on the positive voices. Only listen to the ones saying good things.
Oh, well, they're not saying bad things. They're just, it's like having a schoolyard of 12 really gifted kids, and none of them knows how to raise their hand properly.
Okay. Yeah.
So they're not bad kids. They're just
Good.
energetic.
That's very Mercury and Pisces for sure. It's a lot. All ideas coming in from everywhere, right? Voices.
Yeah, and not knowing which ones to shut up at the right time.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, I mean,
Hang on a second, car coming.
well, you seem like you're doing well. You seem like you're doing well to me.
I have my days.
Yeah.
Keen's legit AF, bro. Like, yeah.
Wow. And yeah, so that's just looking at where Neptune's just moving there. Yeah. So that's interesting. You got diagnosed just within the past few months, you said?
Yeah, just a couple of months ago, actually. Did I say that, or did you
Yeah,
infer it?
You said that.
He said it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So any advice you would give? So Keenan, what's something you want are you like trying to work towards in your future, right? Since you're talking to yourself in the past and the future. What's
Hang on,
something
hang
you
on.
want? Sure. Cars, man, for sure.
Well, me personally, right now I'm in a sober living house, and I've been homeless on the street for like 3 years now. So trying to get through each day, hoping not to do something bad enough to get kicked out, or not bad enough to get kicked out of myself. Um, it's like I see possible futures that could happen, but I came up with this saying, you can quit tomorrow. And, like the sun will come up tomorrow, but you can quit tomorrow. Wait till tomorrow. And so far it's working.
Nice.
So stability. Yeah. Go ahead, Noah.
Yeah, you got Jupiter in your 5th house right now, so there's some luck to that, right? And the getting the getting diagnosed with schizophrenia seems to be a function of like Uranus squaring your Mercury, which it's now retrograded back. So there's going to be Uranus is going to make a final hit to your Mercury. Let me see, in May of 2026. So there might be a further development there. There might be. Sometimes the final hit can be a resolution. There can be some resolution there, some acceptance of the situation.
Well, in May will be 7 months that I'll be here in Harvest Farm.
Wow.
The sober living program here.
Nice. That's going well for you?
6 weeks in.
Good. Because you got Gemini, you got Jupiter in Cancer in the 5th house, and 5th house is like leisure and pleasure, and sometimes things can go too far in that house, right? And so there's an ability to take care of you now. There's an ability to care and move forward with that.
Yeah, it's like I put myself last, and I think I can hold my breath longer than I can, kind of thing.
Right. I mean, it's you're in a serious situation, and it's something that's a little harder to speak to on the fly, right? Compared to like doing some deeper work and doing the kind of work that I would give to someone in a reading. So, Xirtus. I'll reach out to you and I'll look at your chart some more, and I'll send some private messages.
All right.
Because it's
cool.
a little. I don't want to say any. I don't want to jump the gun on anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it's all right. Nothing here will be taken as professional advice. It's more like
not medical advice, not
clinical advice, for entertainment purposes only. How many times have we had to say that?
Oh, many. I actually have like
for entertainment purposes only.
Do it.
God.
I think we forgot to say it at the beginning, but we'll have to make a header.
Usually I'm the one putting that in the chat room. Thank you much.
You do amazing work, man. Honestly, Keenan, bro, you're a solid human being, and I tell you what, I feel like most of the world's way crazier than you are. I promise you that.
You know what? I kind of miss the sex bots because we don't kick them out often enough.
Yeah, it's true. Cherry 2000 is a great movie. I have to send it to you about a guy who has to fix his sex bot in like the dystopic future, and they stop making that model. It's becoming too like art bleeds into reality, isn't it? It's crazy. All right. God bless you, Keenan. I'm going to pull in Courtney now.
All right, cool. I'm going to go back to the inside.
Great
cool,
to
man.
meet you, Keenan. Great to meet you.
Dude, we'll talk again soon. And then Courtney.
Hey, I'm over here. Come here.
Whoa. Hey, Courtney, can you hear us?
Can't wait to see this chart.
Can you hear us, Courtney? Whoa. I hear a lot of feedback loop.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Cool. Are you?
I didn't know you were going to hear me say that. I was yelling at my boyfriend.
Based. That's all. You told.
All right, let's jump into the 7th house. Let's go.
Oh, sorry. Hang on.
Are you Gnostic Fox? Is that who you are?
Oh, there's a party going on there.
Are you Gnostic Fox? Is that who you are?
Yeah, that's me.
Cool. Okay, I'm gonna mute you because there's an echo going on, but we'll unmute you to talk when he asks you questions. Okay. All right. So go ahead, Noah, and then I'll unmute her when you need it.
Yeah, it's Yeah, I want to talk about the boyfriend now because we
High energy. We'll do his chart next so that she can take better care of him. Yeah?
Well, you got like a lot of everything's rising in your chart, eh? It's crazy. So you're someone who's it's interesting because a Capricorn sun isn't generally an extrovert, but everything in your chart is rising. So you're probably way out there, eh? Like you enter a room and people know you're there, right? You're not a lot of secrets. She's muted.
I'll unmute you, Courtney.
People know you're there, right?
Can you hear us?
I'm definitely not an extrovert.
Okay.
Sure.
Oh, okay. So, so I'm like, sorry, it's like lagging, so it's like throwing me off.
Yeah, maybe mute your YouTube video and just like
So
talk to us.
I don't
directly
know if you
from here.
guys know about the Myers-Briggs personality types, but I'm an INFJ.
Yeah, I never memorized them. So but that's you are an introvert in
And they're the most extroverted of the introverts. But I'm
okay. Yeah. Sorry, you were going to say more?
Yeah, so I'm very shy. I have really bad social anxiety, but I love people.
Mm. You know, part of that is the fact that the 7th house, which is the descendant,
Well,
is in
I just have a hard time talking with people. I have bad social skills, I guess.
Okay. Interesting. So your 7th house is ruled by the sun, and your sun is in the 12th house with right on Uranus, Neptune, Mars, and Venus. You've got all this stuff going on right on your house, on your sun. So it's complicated. Yeah, man, there's a lot going on here. And then your moon is just right there. It's just, you were born. It's hard to, this chart form is hard to see because everything's bunched up. So yeah, so all that stuff is in your 12th house, but your moon is in the 1st house. So, and your moon is with Saturn. Okay. So you're someone who's always trying to control your emotions deeply, like really trying to get a handle on how you're feeling about things emotionally, but it always shows on your face. You don't want anyone to see your emotions, but it's out there, right? She's muted again. It's out there, right?
Yeah, it's something that's I've always struggled with. I feel like people can read me, and I feel like they try to like manipulate me.
Yeah, anyone with moon in the 1st house, it's hard to you're easily read. Now the problem is there's so much energy on your sun that it's complicated for how. Yeah, that echo's confusing to me. It's complicated for you to even know what your identity is and how to put it out. Like, do you have a specific creative goal in life? Like, what's your goal? Your identity is and how to put it out. Like, do you have a specific creative goal in life? Like, what's your goal?
I don't know because how do I stop the echoing? Because it's I feel like I keep talking over you, and I don't know how to do. I don't know what to do.
So you turn off the audio from your YouTube, whatever you're watching it on, and then just listen through the StreamYard because we have sound in here directly, and you're hearing the echo from whatever video you're watching. This is like a beatbox session. Any luck there, Courtney?
Okay.
Cool. There we go. Oh, so much better.
Wait. How do I?
We can hear you.
We can hear you. Can you hear us?
I don't know what to do. Will you turn it on? I can't hear you guys. I don't know what to do.
You can't hear us in the StreamYard?
No, I can't hear you guys unless I turn it back on.
I'll be right back while you guys do this. 1 second.
Okay. So, I don't know. I mean, whatever the StreamYard should have audio playing directly. So you should have sound up on your StreamYard device and then turn off the background stream. Brutal. Any luck? Oh well, I tried. Courtney will do when we can get the audio working better. She'll be back. When Noah's back, I have we've got our buddy here, Zach, and he is Gazoos Pieces, right? I think is your screen name. So I'll pull that one up and get that one ready. Let me just get that ready. How are you doing, Janet?
Great. Everything's fine. Yeah.
Sweet. I'm glad to have you.
Thank
All right. And we've got here's Gazoos Pieces 1.
Jesus.
What's up, bro? How's it going, bro?
Hey.
How are you doing? Dude,
hey, it's good to see you,
legit.
Andreas. You're hey, you're a friend.
Bro, you look like a medieval painting, honestly. You got a solid vibe. You got the vibe, bro. I'm into it.
Thank you, bro.
So we just pulled up this is Zach's chart here, and I love Zach.
We lost the last one already. She couldn't solve her audio.
She couldn't solve the tech issue.
That's
I'll walk
too
her
bad.
through it. We have another episode next week on this, so we'll
Very
keep
good.
this going. This is a good style. But just wanted to shout out Zach here for like literally watching the video while making his chart. Got this great photo of us with this. I look like Rodin's poet. I got this like, I'm thinking so deeply, which is cool. But I see his battery's dying, so I don't want to talk over you. Noah, go ahead and explain his chart,
Oh
man.
my goodness, you got like a very tight Mars-Sun opposition.
Yeah, I do not want to fight with Zach. He's better as an ally than an enemy, it looks like, from this chart.
Yeah. So you're just like on the tail end of that like indigo generation we keep dealing with tonight. Saturn is in Aquarius where it's dignified, right? So you've got a lot of potency to build structures in your life, better than Andreas, as you can see from the challenges stream.
I happen to thrive on chaos, all right?
I'm aware. That's why the people who told you were an Aquarius sun, it's like, yeah, I don't know about that. Anyways, you've got some cool stuff in your chart. All right. So you've got Venus exalted in Pisces, in the 12th house. So you probably have like a deep connection to music or something. Am I correct here?
Hey, absolutely.
Yeah. And
nice.
You just want to be alone and listen to it. Don't bother me. I got my jams on. Yeah. Or are you out there like really selling your favorite band?
No, people can like who they like, but
That's what I thought, yeah.
music sound to me is, sacred. I'm in tune with sound.
Yeah. No, I believe that. So your Venus is also on Fomalhaut. That's one of the royal guardian stars, the guardian of the south. Okay, it's the mouth of Astrinus Pisces, where it's like drinking the pure waters of Aquarius. And Aquarius is a powerful sign because you've got Saturn there, right? Dead center Aquarius, where all the fixed signs right in the middle are the most potent, right? They're the most fixed. That's the middle of every season. Mind you, it's all in the 12th house. So it's like when things are bothering you, you get home, you get alone, and then you shut the rest of the world out with your sound, right? It's the music that's your peace, that's your space. You also have two of the most powerful musical stars in the sky. Fomalhaut is mystical in many ways, but your sun is also right on Vega. Okay, now Vega is far, far north, right? But the middle degrees of Capricorn are on what is the brightest of all the pole stars, because Polaris is not always the pole star. You go back 11,000 years, and it was Vega, which is the brightest of all of them. Can you? I don't want to look at myself. I'm far too.
But you're
ugly.
so handsome. I like to do like a little, just a little bit of cameo. All right.
No, it's fine. But I forgot Zachary's name, so I needed his name. I lost myself. Anyways, your son is right on Vega, which is the literally the lyre of Orpheus. Okay, so it is this magical instrument crafted for. Do you actually play music at all, or is it?
By ear, very
Okay.
very little like training.
What kind of
Okay.
instrument?
Some practice. Piano, guitar. I love stringed instruments.
Rad.
My
Oh, yeah, he's a
son's playing
multi-instrumentalist. Oh, I play a little bit. He's like, yeah, I got a saxophone, and
That's how you know somebody's good, though, is they won't admit that they are.
It's true. It's true. Now, a lot of people consider Capricorn to be such this like staunch, it's all about what's practical and what's and what works, and it is to a certain extent, right? But you've got your son with the Neptune-Uranus conjunction, which is really potent, right? Like that's I call it the X-Files conjunction because that's when X-Files came out under that, and so that's like the mystical and the shocking all at once. And wait, what year were you? What year is this again?
93.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry. But also right dead center is Vega, which is the most musical star in the sky, literally like prophetic music. So maybe you're not well learned, but you probably have deep emotion, deep feeling. Like you've got a chart that has someone who could like, even if you just learned one song, you're going to play that song and it's going to make people cry. I mean, if you were bold enough to play it for them.
Right. Hey, exactly.
There's a big conflict between home and work for you. You've got like the lunar nodes right on the MCIC axis. So like there's this desire for you to go out and do something important in the world, but then you're hiding at home. Can you move the chart a bit, Andreas? I can't see the bottom. Yeah. Oh God, your moon is right there. I didn't know that. Can you zoom out a little bit? I got to see the whole chart. I missed that. Oh my goodness. In Gemini too, eh? Right on. Okay. So that's interesting too, because then your moon is right on Capella. So you've got like really potent star energy in your chart. It's really intense, actually. Capella, which is the brightest star in Auriga. It's literally the goat that like milked that was used to take care of Jupiter when he was, or Zeus when he was like captured away from Kronos. That's I think Amalthea was the name of the goat that like Rhea, to hide from Kronos, hides Jupiter because Kronos has eaten all the other babies, and it's just like this goat that the charioteer is carrying. So yeah, your moon is right there, but your moon is also on the south lunar node, so it's right on it, basically where an eclipse would happen. It's crossing the ecliptic, which really the moon on the nodes means it's right on the ecliptic. It's right where all the most important, well, at least the stars that have the most connection to human life, right, more directly, whereas Vega's way off, but because it's so bright, it really shows up in the chart. And then, can you zoom out a little bit more, Andreas, just so I can kind of see that? Yeah, you got like a block there. I don't know what's going on. Block down at the bottom.
Oh yeah, sorry. The copy I got of the photo that was posted has that, so I can't remove it.
Yeah, it's such a Piscean thing. This Pisces Venus here. No. Yeah. So what's your work? Obviously you want to be home and you want to like not have to deal with other people. I see that in your chart in a few different ways, but you also have that deep desire to do something good because it's in your midheavens in Sagittarius. Do something that matters for other people, right? So what's that balance? What do you do?
Well, see, I was about to ask you the same thing. What should I do to, say you want to like, the only thing more important to me than music would be like the well-being of our species,
Yep.
It's the only thing I would kind of like give up music for.
Yeah, so check this. Okay, so your midheaven is in Sagittarius, okay? Ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter's in the 7th house, the house of other people, okay? And it's in Libra. So it's all about balance and finding what's the balance between things. But it's ruling Sagittarius, which is really the higher mind, which is really like what's the ultimate truth. Okay? So there's certainly a philosophical component to that, but geez. what should you do? Well, where are you at in life? Like, I mean, it's a hard question to answer if I don't know what steps you've taken. Like, do you have a degree? What have you done, dude?
No degrees, no accreditation.
All right.
Does it say anything in there about like starting an army or something, or
Did you say starting an army?
I was thinking that earlier. I told you, bro. It's the Mars, bro.
Well, hey,
Mars?
Andreas, I would love to have you if you would have me as an ally, I would have you as an ally.
Exactly. That's what I've been thinking.
I respect you, brother.
You too, bro. Absolutely.
I'm going to be doing astrology for both sides. I'm just hedging my bets. All right, guys. So you know how it is. Sorry. That's just the game. So yeah, you got Mars in Cancer. So it's funny you say army, because Cancer is the most patriotic sign. This is about home and about like protecting the home. Mars is in fallen Cancer. So your martial issue.
Cancer's the crab with the pinchy claws, but the juicy innards underneath its heavy shell, you know?
Indeed. The interesting thing about Cancer is it's at the brightest time of year, but it's like the darkness has just begun again. It's right after the summer solstice, and so the night is increasing. So it's like Cancers want security for themselves first and foremost, but they find that through relationships to other people. Now you have Mars there. Mars in your chart rules your 8th house, and it's also your 2nd house, but much of your 1st house is through Aries. So there's like, I mean, Mars and Cancer people, there's a lot of like doing stuff for other people that wasn't asked for, and then like being annoyed that you're not getting the response, but they're like, I didn't ask you to do that. Like, why are you doing this? Especially because it's opposed to your sun, and squaring your Jupiter. So you've got this higher mind where you're trying to figure out what's good for everybody. And there's always going to be conflict though with you. There's always going to be conflict when you're trying to do that stuff for other people. And in fact, when you're trying to do it for the good of everybody, it's going to be difficult for you. He's gone, eh?
Yeah, but luckily he's got F-chat, so I think he knows what's going on.
It's that Mars retrograde and Cancer thing. And by the way, okay, so we just had Mars retrograde in Cancer. That's a recurrence transit for you. So this summer must have been a big deal for you. Like there must have been a lot of like frustrations you've had to go through. Hope you can hear this. Could you hear what I was saying?
Here, repeat that last part.
Are you there? I don't know if you can hear us.
You can hear us, right, Zach?
Hey, yeah, I can hear you now.
Cool.
It dropped me. I dropped out.
That retro.
But yeah, that's very fascinating that you. I guess that is what I'm doing right now. Is I am trying to make friends. I am trying to build like, more of a community.
Yeah.
It's tough because not everyone is ready for. People aren't really maybe ready to take responsibility yet.
100%. Yeah.
I think a lot of us are doing things like that right now.
We're still trying to vote.
Say it again, Janet. Sorry.
I think a lot of us are trying to build communities right now. I know I am.
Yeah, the funny thing is if a bunch of people build communities, it's communities of one. So trying to get people to work together so they can share a community that's many people, that's, I think, harder for Indigo and for some of the I generation people that if your parents used to say, go to your room when there was a stressful situation and you went to your comfortable room and you got to be comfortable in your own idiom, that's really different than learning how to live together, And it's not like it used to be where, there is a place you can go where people live together, they sleep together, they dream together, they fight together. It's called the military, right? And so we don't live in that world anymore. And there's only one monopoly on this idea. It's not the hippies anymore. So making a community is really hard unless people are fighting for the same thing. I think if you have a family or you have a business, that can be a thing, but really that focus on something bigger, like on God or spirituality or making humanity a better super person, singularity, those things transcend your lifetime, right? And then all of a sudden you're the bridge between the past and the future. That's, I think I hear that as a goal that you have, Zach, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
What happened to you this spring that was really stressful? And like, let's get some clues there, because that was a recurrence transit of Mars retrograde in Cancer for you. You were born under that, and that just happened. Especially, well, geez.
When is spring again? Like April, May or something?
Yeah, March, April, May, around there.
What was going on March, April, May in your life, Zach?
Yeah.
Not 100% sure.
Yeah, nothing comes to mind, eh? I'm curious about that. Because there could be some clues there, because that's a recurrence of something you were born with. Yeah. Worth digging into, because we're talking about Mars. You want to start an army. What are we fighting for, though?
I guess freedom mostly.
All right.
Save the world.
All right. All right.
Just the ability to. What I would be fighting for would be giving people a better leader that they can trust and who deserves their trust.
Yeah. It's notable you first said freedom, though, because your IC, which is deep inner self, and your moon are both in Gemini, which is building up to the greatest freedom. That Gemini is like the light is brighter every single day and the sun is high in the sky. That's the most independent and yang sign in the zodiac. So that's where that's coming from for you. For you to say freedom is your first word, it's perfect. And also Capella is a star very concerned with like the details on how things work. It's like the mechanics of the chariot too. It's not just the goat feeding, Zeus, but it's you've got a capacity to look at details and figure that stuff out too, right? Especially your own inner self, how you feel about things. Yeah, that's interesting. And then Mars in Cancer, that's pure. Okay, here's what I want to say to him, though. I hope you can hear this. Mars in the 5th house, which the 5th house is of creativity. It's also children, but of creative action. So your best bet is your music, spreading your message. Be a military in your music. Get some marching beats going on. But you could definitely, with that, write songs that are inspire people for sure. You have that capacity.
Excellent. Well, I think since he popped, is he back? Okay, let's finish up because Courtney's back with unmute with a fixed sound. But yeah, did you hear that last part? Repeat that last bit again, Noah, just for Zach.
All right, because you got Mars in the 5th house of creativity, again, all this stuff about music, your path is not to give up music. Your path is to put make the military march that gets people to march towards freedom, right? That's how you put it all together. That's how you feel fulfilled in your chart. I mean, will it make you money? Maybe. Maybe there's money there for you. I mean, I rarely would tell anyone there's money in any music anymore, but it's going to be fulfilling to you at any rate to put your messages into music and do it that way. You got too much in your chart indicating music to not do it.
And there's something to be said about live performances too. Like, I mean, the grind is real, but if you're actually out there and you're battling into people's minds and hearts, you might be surprised how much easier it is to get through to somebody with music than a sword, right? And there's a lot of change you can bring to someone that way.
And it's worth mentioning he's got the sun in the 11th house of groups and friends, right? And so if you can book a show and play your music at a show, you gather people around you. That's an 11th house issue. Wherever your sun is, to align to the sign and the house that it's in is what makes you feel fulfilled. So, I mean, that's my advice.
Excellent. All right, let's get Courtney's back up. Courtney, how's it going?
Good.
Okay, let me find your chart again.
You had it.
Okay.
Was this it? Was this
yeah, that's it.
We were talking because what I see in your chart, because there's so much stuff conjunct your sun and it's in your 12th house, how difficult it is for you to know who you are and what your passion is.
Yes, very difficult.
Yeah. So you still don't know. You don't have an idea of what it is you want to do in this world.
No, well, I know I have ADHD, and so I tend to become obsessed with things, and then I lose interest very quickly.
Okay, see, this is why I want to know if your Mars is probably out of bounds. That's correlated. That's on a scientific level. I don't know if anyone else is talking about, but Mars out of bounds correlates to ADHD. And I'd love to, but I can't see it in this chart. I'd have to put it in my program to see the height of it, whether it goes far below the ecliptic or not. But I will check that out because I can see your birth time is visible here. Actually, I could plug that in.
I'm super interested in astrology and psychology. I'm like obsessed with psychology.
Nice.
But I don't really feel like it would be worth pursuing if I'm not going to make money at it. So.
Well, there's money in psychology, but it's a long route, right? Like do you have any?
No, I just work at a warehouse, so that's fun. But I don't know. I don't know if I would be good in school. I don't know.
Well, you got Mercury in Aquarius, where it has quite a bit of power in Aquarius. Mercury does really well there with learning, and being rigid and thinking clearly, not like free flowing like Mercury likes to be, but in terms of fixed signs, Mercury does really good in Aquarius.
Okay.
But you weren't good in school growing up? Is that what you're saying?
No, I had a really hard time focusing, and I have slow processing disorder. I mean, I can learn things, it just takes me longer, and it's just frustrating.
Yeah, well, like Mercury in a fixed sign is slow, but it tends to, once it learns something, it knows it. Like it's going to hold on to that information. And is it possible that you were just bored with the material they were teaching in school? You weren't actually learning something that resonated with you?
Yeah, that's definitely part of it, because I actually love learning. I'm obsessed with, I just have this constant craving for knowledge, but I want to learn what I want to learn.
Yeah, of course. But so I see potential in your chart that you could be good going to school. That there's always going to be that problem where no matter what course you take, you're going to learn a bunch of stuff you don't want to learn. But if you're focused in on psychology and you actually take a course on it, you're going to do much better than you did in high school because you're going to be mainly focused on what your obsession is. And I mean, your Mercury is in the first house, it's rising. Like all this stuff is right. It's complicated. I don't like this chart format when it gets bunched up like this, but but everything is rising, basically conjunct your ascendant. There's a potential there for you to be fulfilled by learning, by digging deep into information. And maybe it's not going to a university or a college or something. Maybe it's you learning it. And think about that for a second. But it's obvious that you study this stuff, right?
Yeah, I know a lot about it.
So you're gonna get a lot by sharing, but even if it's not for money, just by sharing it, you're gonna get so much fulfillment out of that.
I mean, pretty much everybody I try to talk to about anything I learn about, they're just like, they don't want to hear it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's part of my problem is that, I have a hard time making friends and connecting with people, but it almost feels like, pretty much all the people that I'm around just don't care about anything. And then it makes me feel like there's something wrong with me.
No, you need to go where your interests are, and then you'll find people. Like your 11th house is in Sagittarius. That's your friend group, is the 11th house. And your Jupiter is over there in the 9th house of higher learning. Okay? You're going to find people that matter to you if you go to school. Like I was wrong about the self-learning then. If the people around you aren't listening to you, they're wrong. Okay? Screw them. Go to school. If you can work it, if you can get funding or whatever, if you can finance it, you're going to meet the people you need in your life by going to school.
Yeah.
Jupiter it's the great benefic, and it's in the 9th house of university for you.
It's scary because I don't know. I just have a hard time committing to something that, I don't know if it's going to pan out because I don't want to go to school for something and then not be able to make money in it.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. The thing is, there's so many counseling jobs, social work jobs, like there's so many different potentials if you learn. You know, it doesn't have to be psychology specifically. I know that's a big investment of time and money, but you know what if you did a social work or counseling type degree that's a lower commitment?
Yeah, I could do that for sure.
You know,
I love doing something like that.
yeah, and I mean, like Jupiter is moving up the horizon in your chart. It's in Cancer now. It's going to conjunct your descendant. It was trining your Jupiter, so there's an opportunity there for this higher learning. You know, it's a good time for you to do it. And Saturn is moving low on your horizon. Which is a good time to learn new things. You know, Saturn's going to be in your third house. Well, I mean, a few years from now, but that's a good time to focus and put your effort into learning. I mean, I'm sure what I'm sure I mean, again, yeah, your second house of money is ruled by Jupiter. So, I mean, I think that there's a great potential that you going to school, you're going to meet the friends you need, because these are people who are going to be interested in the same things you're interested in, because you're hyper focusing, you have ADHD, and you need people who have the same obsessions as you.
Right.
That's where you're going to connect with people on a deeper level. And the fact that it rules your second house of money, there's a potential there to make money doing that too.
Okay.
Like, if nobody around you is interested in what you're like, then you got to make a change, you know?
Yeah, it's weird because it's always sort of been like that. I don't know. People have always been like that my whole life. Just kind of like, why are you talking about that? Why do you care?
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Well, I mean, you have to be the one to gravitate towards a new scene then. You know, because if you're obsessed with psychology, then take a course in it somehow, you know?
Okay.
That's my advice to you for sure.
Is there anything that my chart says about like sleeping issues or anything like that?
Yeah, I don't know if any other astrologer does this, but I use the fourth house for sleep, and absolutely. So you have Ketu in your fourth house, which means that you're never getting enough sleep, right? And so your fourth house is ruled by Venus, and Venus is there with Uranus. Uranus is not a friend of sleep. Uranus is exciting, ideas racing. So so straight up, yeah, I can see that you have sleep issues in your chart for sure. In terms of and so what, it's ideas, your brain doesn't shut off?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I have a lot of anxiety about like what's going to happen the next day and stuff like that.
Right.
I just have an easy suggestion. Turn off your Wi-Fi when you go to bed so you don't have that buzzing.
Yeah, I've been doing that too. I put everything in airplane mode, and I swear I get better sleep.
Yes.
Yeah, I've had really bad insomnia for as long as I can remember.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat, man.
Me too.
Yeah.
Same Z's.
Yeah.
I mean, but if I travel a lot and I get up really early and I exhaust myself all day and I don't drink any caffeine, I just go with the Mormon route, then somehow my body usually gets tired eventually, you know?
Yeah.
That'll do. I mean, that's, the physical exercise is the obvious answer, but when it comes to overactive brain, it doesn't always solve it. You know, like for me, sometimes I can.
Because it's like sometimes it doesn't matter how tired I am, because I work 12-hour shifts, so sometimes being up for like 15, 16 hours and all the excitement, because work is so busy and it's very labor intense, my brain is just so like lit up that I can't, it doesn't matter how tired I am, I can't go to sleep. And then I end up getting like 6 hours of sleep the entire weekend.
Right.
So I recommend doing a couple of things with that. Like, one is trying to be exhausted, but the other thing is turning off your electronics, and then like an hour or two before bed, no more screen time, because screens will wake you up. And then you can even listen to one of those guided meditations that focus on your breathing, flexing your muscles, and letting go of your muscles. It's really important to focus on, you know, in a dark place. I think spending some time awake in a meditative state is really good for calming your mind anyway. So you might be blessed by that Uranus in that sense, because you're kept awake long enough that you can get something out of that subconscious state. And so, yeah, just trying to give yourself, a little time at night before you go to bed, like sometimes an hour, to just like listen to a guided meditation that actually has a calming voice, or even a mantra or something like that.
Yes.
And just kind of breathing with it in the dark. It's a huge boon, as opposed to just vegging out on a TV all night on your way to sleep, because that's for me, if I've got a screen on, I'm just going to stay up until like 6 a.m. It happens to me all the time.
Same. I have to turn their TV off in order for me to sleep. It's too distracting.
Yeah. So Courtney, like, you've got Moon conjunct Saturn, and we look to the Moon for sleep too, right? Like, Moon is your habits, your daily habits. And it's also square Pluto. We talked about that earlier, how this Pluto-Moon connection can create this tendency to live in worst-case scenarios in your head. Okay. Now, Saturn on your Moon can be positive because it can allow you, it could make you a really good counselor, okay? Because you're able to bring emotions into a structured sense, okay? But like what Andrea said, a mantra or prayer, and it doesn't matter who you're praying to, but a prayer practice at night to just say something you're thankful for in the day, and then give up all the stresses of the day. Let them enter your mind. Let the things that you're stressed about for tomorrow, and say, just give it up to whatever your God is, and just say, it's in your hands. It's going to happen anyways. And but you need to verbalize it. You need to say it. You need to make it real, right? And that's a way to help the stresses of the mind calm. Just accept it. It's going to happen. Done.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a mantra that I say before I go to bed. I made it all up, but I've been saying it over and over again for decades already. It helps. Really does.
You made your own mantra up? Are you going to share it with us?
Not really. It's religious, so to my faith, right.
Beautiful.
There's a really great scene in Annie Hall with Jeff Goldblum. Are you guys familiar with that movie?
I've seen it.
And Jeff Goldblum says, he calls up his shrink and he's like, "Yeah, I forgot my mantra," and he has to constantly get reminded of it. I'm gonna send you a link to the Mole mantra, which is a pretty chill kind of Sikh yoga kind of mantra here. I put it into the F chat. It's at the bottom here. Let me go to the bottom here. Mole mantra I just posted here. And it's really interesting because, it's about praying to like the one source, the one God, the one kind of a thing. So even if you're a Christian and you're kind of averse to things that aren't written in the Deuteronomist reforms, I think you can get down with this one. This one's really calming, really chill, and really positive, focusing on, being a part of, service to God and things like that. And yeah, if you're not into religion, that's fine. I'm just saying, like, I think Saint Germain said that, you don't have to like him, but you have to acknowledge God if you want to practice alchemy. So, I mean, that's usually the take I have on it. But check that out, see if it makes you feel calm.
Courtney, if you're really looking for specific mantras to remediate your chart, you might want to look at a Vedic astrologer. I could recommend my friend Tom Roy, credible Vedic astrologer, because they will specifically look at your chart in the Vedic system and then give you a mantra to remediate problems in your chart. So I'm assuming he would give you a moon mantra, but I mean, you'd have to. It's an idea for you, anyways. If you like astrology, you might want to get a Vedic reading for that.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah. Sweet. Okay, we're 2.5 hours deep, but Courtney, it's super great to have you. I'm gonna pull in Greg because Greg's the next one in. Cool.
All right. Bye, guys.
Ciao.
Nice.
No, I think Greg just popped out.
Well,
Greg,
we're doing another one, right? We gotta leave them wanting.
You got 10 seconds, Greg. Well, because we got Regulux and Kara were in the studio still. So let's do Regulux really quick because Regulux had to figure out how to get their computer to work, and I feel like you deserve it.
Oh, and he's okay. We got Leo in this chart. We already know he's repping Regulus, and he's got the lion, the cowardly lion. What is the affliction to your son, sir?
Yeah, let's see. This is Regulux.
What's the affliction to your son that you're repping the cowardly lion?
Well, I have sun in the first house.
Well,
so
that's not an affliction.
and it's and it can bust Mars.
Oh, you're not even a Leo. Oh, but you're Leo, right? So he's Regulus rising.
Well,
okay.
I follow Vedic. So
yeah, there you go.
In Vedic, I'm like a quadruple Leo.
Yeah.
And but I heard Sun in the first house is actually makes you like way too prideful.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know.
A lot of people
but I don't want to tell you. I'd love to hear what your dry take is, bro. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, so it's no contest between, you know, sidereal astrology and tropical. It all works. It's a personal relationship to the masters of the sky, and if you satisfy Saturn, he'll let you pass and get to the stars, right? So, but yeah, I read tropical astrology, but I keep an eye on sidereal. I use Placidus houses because I'm so wildly out of date and so lame and old, but but I look at whole sign houses. You know, like it all works, right? So for you, you're a Leo rising, right on Regulus, right? Like Regulus would have been in, when were you born? 72. So Regulus was like 29, maybe 28 degrees in 72. But yeah, so right close to, you know, Regulus is rising, the royal star, the heart of the lion, man. That's potent Leo energy. And then, I mean, you're kind of like in Placidus, your sun's almost like second house, not necessarily first house. Do you feel
what does Placidus mean?
Placidus is a system of calculations for houses where you're not. It's basically each house is 2 hours of time, but it's translated to space, and so it takes into account the warp between the celestial equator and the ecliptic, because there's a warp between them. So you can see the lines of the houses in this chart. I mean, if you're into Vedic astrology, then you're not used to a circle chart, but you've probably seen one before.
Yeah, no, I mean, I look at both, but I have a real hard time. I usually use a South Indian chart.
Yeah. So the square.
Yeah, the square. That's how I learned it, and it's so simple. And there's only 7 planets, so this is like this. Whenever I look at these, I'm always just like, what the hell?
Well, so yeah, so one of the main differences between Vedic and tropical, which we kind of talked, is that Vedic progresses the signs about 23 degrees. So what he's saying is he's got a bunch of Leo stuff, but I view it as Virgo. And I mean, you don't want to have Mercury in Virgo? Like, I'm confused. I guess you want your sun in Leo. All right, fine. But
no, I'm not judging it.
I'm teasing you. So you've got.
I'd much rather have sun in the second house, because that's probably more money. And sun in the first house seems very afflicted.
That's interesting. I mean, I don't view that. I mean, so when you're talking about the houses, you're talking about the cycle of a day, right? And the houses are really determined by what is the sun doing at that point in the day. So when your sun in the first house, the light is returning after night. It's like if you had a rough night, you're feeling the sun come back when it's in the first house. You don't see the sun yet, but the light is coming and the heat is about to arrive, right? It's a really good vibe. And everything in astrology is based on our experience of these things and how it feels. Okay, so like you're right. Like a lot of people have problems with Leo energy to begin with. We've seen this in our private chat, have we not? So there's a lot of people don't like Leo. So that's the pushback, that sun in the first house in any regard is going to give a Leo vibe, because it's like the sun rules Leo. And so if the sun is on the ascendant, your identity is going to be directly correlated into the sun. But your sun in tropical is in Virgo, Mercury's in Virgo, but it's also with Mars. Okay, there's all kinds of complicating factors here. So are you not obsessed with details?
Oh yeah, I'm like detail master. I'm like pretty gnarly detail professional. Like
tropical astrology is the deal. Okay, yeah.
You know, probably some kind of autist.
Well, it's worth mentioning, like, Vedic astrology is an unbroken system that we know goes back over 2,000 years, but probably goes back something like 10,000 years with some of these, some of the ancient Vedic texts. Like, we don't know how far it goes back, right?
I think all of it's pre-flood.
Interesting, yeah.
Because you have to watch it so many thousands of years to really create all these yogas. Yeah. So it just seems to me like it's left over from, from the Ice Age or whenever the cataclysm happened.
Right. And according to Plato, that was about 9,000 BC, which is the same time that Vega stopped being the pole star. Very interesting stuff. But anyways, so you also have Mars on your sun and Mercury. So everything is like conflicted, like you're detail oriented, but there's a potential that you're pushing those details on other people in a way that like conflicts with them, causes problems. And then your moon is in Scorpio, which we've seen multiple charts tonight about this.
It's in Vedic, it's like in the worst place it can be.
Yeah, for sure. And so the moon is in Scorpio in Vedic and in tropical, because it's past that 23 degree mark. So you're frustrating people all the time with putting out, because you think you know better, and you probably do a lot of the time, because especially any Regulus rising person should be the king. Okay. And but then you're obsessing over the information you get back from people, and you're like, but I did all this research, I did all this work, and then they didn't like it, and it hurts you deeply. Like, you get really hurt by this stuff. No?
I have one sort of burning question.
Mm-hmm.
And when I had K2, well, I guess the south node go over my Jupiter, all this crazy stuff happened about 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And right now I just had Jupiter retrograde right on top of my natal south node.
Yeah, I think it's stationed there too. I think 23 degrees is where it's stationed.
Right. And so like, I feel like I'm having the inverse of what happened when K2 went over my natal Jupiter. And I'm a little bit curious about that. Like, it seems like a very odd thing. I'm definitely struggling right now. Like, definitely like going through all kinds of gnarly stuff.
Well, what's happening?
Well, my job just fell apart, and it's just cascaded into everything falling apart. Sort of just like trying to figure out what I'm going to do about money, what I'm going to do about like finding lower rent, I just don't know what to do with myself, because I'm super workaholic.
Yeah. Well, you got Uranus in your 10th house of career. So that can often mean career ends, right? And that's going to be in there for a while. There's definitely going to be some motion when Uranus conjuncts Saturn. Oh, geez, that's a couple of years away. Many years away, actually. So maybe it's not even worth looking at that. Uranus, yeah, like in 2030, there'll be another shakeup. But
my job might come back also. Like, there's a good chance my job will come back. It's sort of just like falling apart temporarily, possibly. I don't know. It's all up in the air. And it's been up in the air for the past like 5 months.
Okay. Well, so that correlates with Uranus entering Gemini in tropical. So it's ruled by Venus. Venus in the 12th house.
Venus is going right over my moon right now.
Oh, nice. Wow. What do you do? What's this job?
I'm like a game developer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm like a 3D artist.
Okay, so Jupiter is in your 5th house, of which we would put games. Okay. And art as well, so 3D art, right on the cusp of your 5th house. And Jupiter is dignified. It's in Sagittarius in both systems. Okay. So the potential for you to make money doing video games makes perfect sense. Like, I see it in your chart. And you were talking about how it's all K2 and Jupiter interactions that have led to it going away.
Well, I don't know that. I'm just about 5 years ago, all this super magical stuff happened, and I just landed in the right position. And now It's sort of like unraveling when the same when the inverse conjunction just happened. And then my boss, his rising is right at the same point.
Oh wow, you guys have
yeah.
So your houses are all aligned. See, so like when your houses are aligned, that means the transits to your houses are happening at the same time. There will be different changes based on where the planets are and stuff. But so it makes sense that like if you and your boss have your rising signs in the same place.
Well, no, his rising sign is where my south node is.
Oh, okay, interesting.
So Jupiter stationed right on his rising and right on my K2.
Oh wow, okay, very interesting. One thing worth mentioning is like Saturn has moved into the upper quadrant of your chart. Okay, it's climbing the if you view a human being born as saving the sky in that moment, and the setup of the houses are saved in your mind. What's above the sky when you're born, you save within your consciousness, okay, and within your soul. Okay, Saturn is mounting towards your midheaven, okay, which shows if you can be rigid and diligent in your work and what you're doing, that you're on the upswing in your life. Like you're on the upswing in your career specifically, okay. So that's like a peak for you in about 5 years when Saturn reaches your midheaven in Taurus. It's definitely not a time to try and retool what you're doing in life, but it could be changing companies. You know, like if you're talented in what you're doing and you have 5 years of experience, are you not able to get in somewhere else?
Well, the industry is just like collapsing at the moment. AI is just like it's just decimating everything. And so it's like trying to jump companies is kind of a crazy thing. And I'm definitely trying to figure that out. And I'm definitely talking to as many people as I can and trying to see what I can make happen. But everyone's just like, oh, dude, the market.
But okay, so first off, something really fascinating. AI really correlates with Pluto being in Aquarius. And Aquarius is your 6th house of work. Okay. The job, not necessarily the status, which is the 10th house, but the job. So this is AI affecting your job. And the 6th house is a difficult house. You're having a 20-year Pluto transit to your 6th house. Okay. So it could indicate that maybe you need to start working with AI more. You can get on our Gemini app there. Who is the guy
I am. I'm totally working with it.
We're connecting people in the Xirtus extended universe here. But yeah, I mean, see if there's a way you can make it work. Because, and I mean, also, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't recommend you try to take a left turn right now. It's just you might just have to change how you're doing it.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's been the direction. I appreciate you saying that. That definitely like helps.
Sometimes things just take time, you know. It's like if you're trying to charge a solar panel at night, you got to wait till morning.
Time.
Yeah, I'm thinking February 2nd when Jupiter turns around, it's all going to turn around. That's my wishful astrology magical thinking.
Well, maybe because like it's the 3-act play, right? Like the outer planets, they move forward, they station retrograde, and then they come back, and that's the 3-act. The first act is the first conjunction that's direct. You introduce the characters and the problem. In the second act, when it turns retrograde and makes that point, everything goes into the worst case scenario. So Jupiter station retrograde on your K2. Okay. Then the third act is where you resolve all the problems. So note where you're at, note what the problems are now, and you've got another 3 or 4 months before Jupiter turns direct, and then probably about 5 or 6 months from now, it'll be back on your K2, and you might find resolution there.
God, cannot wait that long. It's too long.
Sorry, dude. Sorry. Well, hey, man, start selling hot dogs on the street.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if you're waiting,
if like crazy about my chart that you can tell me.
Well, it's interesting that your moon was is at Black Moon Lilith, so it's like at the furthest point. from the Earth. It's at apogee. So your moon is like, I don't know if Vedics look at that, but the moon is as far away from the Earth as it gets there, right on your IC. Yeah, it's a difficult moon in Scorpio for sure. But it's waxing again, so it's bringing new ideas into the world, bringing something new. And yeah.
What do you mean it's waxing again?
Well, if you look at the relationship between the sun and the moon, your moon was waxing. Okay, it's almost.
Oh, when I was born, it was waxing.
Yeah, so it's like it's bringing more light back. So it's like the sun is helping the moon to bring something new into reality that comes to fruition at the full moon. But I mean, you also do have Saturn squaring Mars, Mercury, and the sun. So there's always going to be restriction and restraint. Like you had that magical moment 5 years ago where things were flowing for you. That's not the typical way your life works. The typical way your life works is you have to work hard to get anything done.
Yeah.
So work hard, dude. That's where you're at.
Fuck.
Take good times to rest. Also, make sure that you're rested so you're ready. Obviously, and like if you can't do something until tomorrow, then figure out what you can do today. Because you can do a lot of other things than your goals, and you want to make God laugh, tell her your plans. So I say focusing on figuring out what is going on right now and getting grounded with that, and then preparing for the future. So there's a lot of things that are not your own idea, but they're important for you to go through. So focus on letting those things exist in your life and doing those things in the meantime.
And I also want to say that your Saturn is like really tight, has just, trined Uranus in your chart, right? It's moving past it, but it's in a trine. So you moving into like a new way of doing things into the future is supported in your chart. Saturn in the 10th, trining Uranus, you'll have to work with the new technology. That's how it is.
Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm learning it.
Very good. You have the potential to be very successful. It's in your chart.
Based.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Regulux. Thank you, man. We're going to do.
Thanks, Janet.
Cool. We're going to do 2 more. I think it's Greg's turn. Greg, are you here? Can you hear us?
I am. Thanks for having me, everyone.
Yes, Greg made it. Okay, so let me just pull up your chart. I have it here. Boom. Okay, so this is yours. This is your box. You got a Vedic astrology box in the middle of your circle. I mean, how's that work out?
Oh wow. Okay, so you're not quite a magical talisman for Jupiter and the moon, but you're close. Your chart is almost, something not quite. Yeah, so you got moon and Jupiter in Cancer. That's always great. This is someone who likes to take care of other people. Your sun too in Cancer, and Venus in Cancer. Wow, man, you're a heavy Cancer stellium. Except you got Chiron in there. Chiron, the wound that never heals, and it's all in the 8th house. Again, I mean, I'm getting a message. Oh, and it's opposed all that stuff. You're taking care of the wrong people all the time, eh, Greg?
Sounds about right.
Yeah, putting your energy into the wrong people seems to be a theme tonight. But you got such a capacity to love and take care of other people. Like it's really potent there. And to listen, right? Like you're a good listener.
Well, I try.
And then Scorpio rising. So yeah, you're intense. Huh. Yeah. What you got a question? What do you want me to look at here?
I don't know. I was kind of looking into a little bit of astrocartography a while ago, trying to plan maybe a move somewhere, and trying to figure out. I don't know if that kind of ties into what you do, but
yeah. I work with it. Andreas, you're on AstroSeek. Go to the. Okay, I'll get you there because you're sharing the screen. I had a problem with that earlier. Okay, if you go to Astro Tools, and then go down to astrocartography, it's in that list. If you see that, yeah, but you got to plug his chart in.
Okay. How do I plug in his chart? I just put in the same information, right?
Yeah. Just the same natal information.
You don't have it here, right? 20 July 1916, 4:40 p.m. Vancouver. Sweet. He's a Vancouver boy.
Oh, there you go. PKD's favorite city. Closest thing to heaven on earth.
20th. 1990. I'm a big fan, bro. I'm a weirdly huge fan of Canada. It's all about Degrassi. Degrassi changed my life. I would literally go door to door and give out Degrassi DVDs like the Mormons do with the Bible. I feel like. Have you seen this? Have you heard this? Do you know?
Okay, it was a wild show growing up, Andreas, especially on our like public broadcast or being a little kid. Like, oh,
I know.
man, you do that on TV?
Oh god, it reads like a venereal disease pamphlet PSA. I love it so much. Actually, I saw the Netflix like 4 or 5 years ago when they were still doing like the new episodes, and I was impressed with what they were. Okay, we're done talking about Degrassi. Excuse me.
So astrocartography is where is this is like a simple way to do it, where you just move the map. It's like you're looking at what your chart would look like in different places in the world and how that aligns with you. So like this is a general way to see the whole world at once. And it's like you move your chart. So what's moving is the houses and the angles. So there's a way to actually cast your chart for the moment you were born in a different place to get really in-depth intelligence. But if we're looking at just like where you want to move, this is a good tool. We're just looking, the lines we're seeing are when the different planets in that moment, at what places in the world would they be right on the angles? So where do you want to move to? Do you have like a range you're thinking of?
Well, I was either thinking of staying in Canada, going maybe east, or actually going to Europe and finding a place somewhere in Europe to move, but I haven't really been sure. So,
what do you want in life?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. This is what everyone wants, right? Just to be happy, healthy, and have a good time.
Well, I like being miserable. I don't know who you are. You don't have enough Saturn in your chart. Anyways, so zoom in. So you're thinking Canada or Europe. Those are your choices. Okay, you want to be happy and healthy. Can you zoom in, Andreas? Like you can like click on you can like zoom in on the site. Yeah.
Where am I zooming? You want me to zoom to Vancouver or what?
Well, I'm just this is good because we can see Europe and it's hard to move to the right a little bit. Just I need to see the side of the no, to the other side. Left then. Move to the left. Left. Okay. So Venus on the descendant. See, if you go down in the bottom, the green line, the top green line that arches up, that's Venus on your descendant. And that would be good in Calgary. So that would be a place where you would be more likely to find love, where Venus is going to work better for you. Calgary would be good.
Yeah, Calgary's crossed the mind. It's just so bloody cold there right now. So that's the only thing. But
yeah, Calgary winters are rough for sure. I hate the Chinook. You think it's winter, and then the Chinook blows in, and everything melts, and it's slushy and horrible. Anyways, can you go down? Go down, Andreas. I can't see what these. Okay, actually, go up then. Go up. This is hard to do.
You talk like my dad. You down is up and up is down on a computer for you.
Well, no, because you can see the planetary glyphs around the side. I thought it would be at the bottom, but it's at the top. Astrocartography we're good. Every single astrocartography program is a bit clunky and hard to work with. So but in Calgary you have Mars on your IC. That's not very good.
How cool is it to be a Calgarian, by the way? It's like Game of Thrones for Canadians, just to be Calgarian. Sorry, go ahead.
Something like that. Oh, this is hard to do. Okay, go down. Go down.
Is it down for real? Down?
Yeah, it's down for real. I've got it figured out. Okay, stay there. Okay, so Moon, Sun. I mean, you want to be happy. I want to get Venus. So like Venus, go up to the top again. Go up to the top.
Right here.
I need to see the glyphs at the top. Venus is going to be, like Venus on your IC isn't anywhere in Canada at all or Europe. I don't know, man. Your astrocartography is tough. If it's Canada and Europe, it's not great. It's not great. I mean, Mercury on the IC through England, and then go down. Go down. What's that? Pluto on the. I don't want Pluto on the descendant. I don't know, dude. Go down again. Okay, now go up. Sorry, there's no glyphs there. Go up.
It's hokey pokey right now.
Yeah. Sorry, this is hard to do. This is really hard to do the way we're doing this right now.
Maybe I can, if I pull out like this, can you still read it enough?
That's better, yeah. Just do that. Just do that.
Okay.
I don't know, dude. Like it's not great for you. It's all the energy is conflicted. For you, if this was a reading you were booking, I would ask you to give me a few cities you'd consider moving to, and then I'd read the full chart instead of use astrocartography, because everything's so bunched up in your chart. Like, you're getting too many mixed signals by just following these lines, and you're also, you kind of just want to be happy. So I kind of want to just give you Venus on an angle, but it's going to get complicated by Pluto and Mars.
Yeah, ideally, I mean, I'd move anywhere, whatever was best. But in terms of like for work, I mean, I could only find work if I was in Canada somewhere, or maybe in Europe if I was in the EU, worked in one of the EU countries, right? So it's pretty much what's basing my decision. So
fair enough.
I mean, I really like Vancouver. It's like out of the way.
Can you zoom out again?
Okay.
What's that green line? Move to the left. The hokey boy. Oh, so sun. Wait. Yeah, just to the left a little bit. Just to the left a little bit. So sun on the descendant. Yeah, like Ottawa might be good for you. That's interesting. It's not being afflicted by other stuff, but you get the sun on the descendant. So you might meet a lot of people that are good for your own solar confidence there. You know? Or just a lot of people that overpower you, maybe. Could go either way. I don't even see. I can't. Can you go back to his chart? Go back to his natal chart. I forget. We didn't spend very long on it. Yeah, Sun Cancer. Yeah, Ottawa looks decent, but like your astrocartography isn't great because everything's bunched up, right? So you're going to get, by getting Venus on something, you know, it's going to be close to Uranus and Neptune, and yeah, you see what I'm saying. You kind of just gotta just work with it, dude. Vancouver's beautiful. If you're able to afford a place to live in Vancouver, just stay there.
All right.
I mean, I do think Degrassi has a lot of good episodes in Ottawa, though. Okay. Sorry. I'm sorry. All right, Greg, we're gonna do. Let me get back to me on FChat, and we're gonna go deeper in your chart, and we'll get back to you and talk to you more specifically about this stuff. And luckily, you got Noah, who's from Canada, so I think that'll give a little bit of extra detail if we go a little deeper. Okay.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate the time, guys. Thanks.
For
Nice
sure,
to
man.
talk to you, Greg.
All right, I'll reach back to you at the FChat. Giant's here. Kara's next, but Giant wanted to weigh in for a second. Giant, what's up, buddy?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, how's it going?
How's it going, guys? Yeah, I was trying to get in a while back, but I just want to hang out and maybe do some commentary here and there.
Okay, well, we're gonna do one more. So
yeah, I'm getting pretty burnt out here. This is a lot.
We have the last one's Kara. Kara's set up to go. Kara, you there?
Hi. Can you hear me?
I can totally hear you. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull up your. Yay! Let me pull up your chart here. And you've got, I know this. I know this is where my girlfriend did my chart originally. I know this site. I know what you did here.
Yeah, well, this is the one I've just been using for years, and it's easier to look at, honestly. It's more aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
I like the faded yellow. Yeah.
Yeah. And on this website, you have a lot of house options, so there's a lot of different preferences.
Yeah, I think I met the lady who made this site years ago. Yeah, like 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's a really old website. It's like one of the original
ones.
What's the birthday?
September 15th, 1999.
Nice.
So I don't know. Okay, so I was just like on YouTube and I saw this was going on, and I've been like listening and studying about astrology for a really long time, and I was just chilling. I just got home from work, so I just hopped on here. So this is really random. But I've been enjoying it because I like to hear about other people's charts and, look at them. I didn't really have any questions in particular. I guess like at this point right now, I work for a dental office and I'm trying to start a sewing business, and I really want to work for myself, but I'm kind of really bad at motivating myself, and I'm very distracted by going outside, and like I really want to travel, and I want to put myself in a position that I can be able to do that. So yeah, but now I'm just working a lot and trying to figure some things out.
So you're Virgo busting into Libra, right? That's basically what's going on?
Almost. Well, I'm 22 degrees. My Mercury is almost at Libra. It's at 28.
Legit.
The craziest thing about your chart is that the moon has just moved into Sagittarius.
I know. And so I was born at 2:35 p.m. and I put it like a few years ago. I like tested the chart and I put it at 234 and it was in Scorpio, and I was like, what if like the doctor was off by like a minute?
And I can hear in your voice you're a Sag moon. Don't worry about it. Jeez.
Even that question kind of says a lot about, how detail oriented you are.
Yeah, I know. Well, I get obsessed with like the most unnecessary details, and then I just obviously like a lot of this like 9th house energy just like miss the big idea. And I'm really like not good at communicating, where I feel like in my head I like think I'm communicating and I think I'm saying all the small details, but like I'm not. And then like especially in my interpersonal relationships, like I just like assume they're gonna read my mind in a way, and I like leave out details or like and like I don't know, it's like my communication can be like strategic but also like ambiguous and like miss so many things, I guess.
What actually is weirder to me is the fact that your ascendant is also just moved into Capricorn.
I know. And the 0 degree marker.
Yeah, you are the 0 degree marker. So every time, so this must have been a crazy couple of years for you, because all the outer planets are moving into new signs now. So you're like moon and...
Oh my God. Since I'm 26 now, so since like honestly, my whole life has been a little crazy, but like the last like 8 years, I've only really started to sit down and like calm down. I don't know, I've always been a hard worker. I've always made like decent money and always had a job or two. I recently went back to school for, I don't even know why I did it. I guess for like a coding and billing, like a medical coding and billing certificate, but it's not what I want. I don't know why. I just thought maybe as a backup, like financially in the future, but I really do want to start a sewing business because I really like to sew and I want to make apparel. But I'm still figuring that out too, because I embroider also. There's just so much to do with it.
Sewing is such a mercurial art. You're literally stitching, you know what I mean? You're coming in and out. This is Mercury, right? Weaving different things together. And you've got exalted Mercury, right?
Yeah.
A little ways from the sun. Yeah, you got exalted, dignified Mercury. And I mean, it sounds to me, I've always had a job. I've always made money. Okay, so you're a Cap ascendant. We know that now. We can be pretty confident in this birth time. Yeah, and I mean, you've got Saturn trining your sun. So you've got this capacity. Saturn in Taurus, you're moving up to the final Earth sign conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn for the next 500-600 years. Okay. So that's potent too, having Jupiter and Saturn in the same sign. So the excesses of Saturn trying to restrict and restrain everything tend to be loosened by Jupiter, and then the excesses of Jupiter tend to be restrained by Saturn. They work together really well, and it's trining your sun. So I mean, you've got a lot of potential to do what you want. Your midheaven in Libra, Venus ruled. You want to sew. You want, like, you know what I mean? Make beauty, make clothes.
Yeah, like I love art that's tangible too, or just like different mediums that have like function, I guess, like, or technicality.
Oh yeah, all this. We can't see the earth signs in you at all. We can't see it. We don't know where it is.
Yeah.
I want it to be tangible.
Yeah, definitely.
So cool. And then you've got Venus in Leo. So you got a Venus that wants to shine. Your aesthetics, you want to put it out in the world. Venus in the 8th house. So, and I mean, yeah.
No, I don't know. I was thinking like the best way to like really just sit down and like force myself to. The biggest issue is I don't put enough time into it. Like I do work a lot, and I guess I make that excuse. Like, so I'm really tired. I work 12-hour shifts 4 times a week. So then after everything to do that needs to get done, and then sewing, I make excuses and stuff. So the hardest thing for me is just sitting down and just doing it. You know, as much as I want to, because like I have the ideas, like they're all just like stuck above my head and stuff, but like actually putting them into reality is like the hardest part for me.
Yeah. And I mean, you've got Uranus like opposing your Venus and then also squaring Saturn. You've got this T-square between Uranus, Saturn, and Venus. So there's a challenge. your ability to sit down and structure something is always being challenged by Uranus. But it's Uranus in the second house of Aquarius. I mean, if you can find a way to satisfy the shocking, derailing nature of Uranus, you have a potential to make money doing that. So, and I mean, your Venus is in 8th house, other people's money, you know, like you got the ability to get it coming in.
I know the potential's there, and like I see it in like my mind's eye, you know.
Yeah. So what you need to do is make it exciting for yourself somehow. Make it more challenging and make it weirder. Okay. The furthest out idea you have is the one that you're going to work on the most.
Like what? Like so how I've like explored a lot of different options with it. Like what I'm at really right now is I want to naturally dye clothing with just better fabrics, like all natural fabrics, cotton, hemp, linen. I also wanted to get into like Faraday fabrics and radiation, like anti-radiation fabrics and stuff like that, and incorporate that, because they do make them, but they do make them in natural fabrics. They're just very technical and expensive, but I wanted to eventually start a line of clothing like that, like sleepwear or loungewear, but also use natural dyes. So I'm trying to explore niche ways, but also like that, I guess, like it sounds corny, but are just like true to my values also. But I also really like to embroider, so I want to mix all of that into it.
So I just sent you a link in the F chat about Asuit. Are you familiar?
No, what is that?
So this is what chainmail comes from originally, which, you know, chainmails are very thick thing that men make, but it's because women used to make tula bitelli, which is Asuit. I have a book that I'll find for you that I helped kickstart years ago from these ladies that do this stuff, and it's incredible, right? This is where they put the little bits of they embroider the little bit of metal into the fabric. And you know, it's interesting because a lot of the time things get more refined over time. This is the opposite. Things started out way meticulous by these women making this incredible stuff.
I know.
Super incredible. And then eventually they got like conquered, and the women were taken. And I don't think they really wanted to teach the men that conquered them how to make better chainmail, you know? So chainmail is a very crude interpretation of this ancient fabric, which they found, right, is an incredible EMF blocking tool. And I'll send you a link to the book that I have on the subject, but I would recommend looking into that.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is like machine oriented too, a lot of the embroidery, so it doesn't like we went from such precise, I guess, intimate work, because like if you hand embroider something, it takes days or months depending on what it is. Right. Now everything is just so automated. You know?
But you still can't knit. There's no robots I know that knit very well. So
you still need people to sew as like they're
finally at the end of the stream we've beat the robots. We finally beat the
AI. With sewing like that. I used to think actually like it was a machine, and then I actually started sewing and I'm like, oh wait, there's actually millions of people just doing it. There's like these products are done by hand.
If I ever become a trillionaire who runs, you know, with the Scrooge McDuck gold pool, and I have an AI company that puts everyone out of work, I'm still gonna have people. I'm gonna wear only crocheted clothes, you know, all made by humans. Right?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Definitely live stream the first time you dive into a pool of gold. We want to watch that for real,
right?
Cartoon version.
Oh, I need it so bad. It hurts to dive right into gold, but I'll do it anyway for you.
It'll be worth it. So what I want to say is that, especially when you get into the Faraday cage, look at this T-square. You're satisfying it perfectly. Uranus in Aquarius wants to make a change, right, to technology specifically, and to ideas. And then Saturn is squaring it. Saturn wants to restrict and restrain those frequencies, right?
Yeah, and I was just talking about this today at work with like one of the patients. I was like, they were saying they were studying material science. I had no idea what that meant, but whatever. They go to college and it's like they literally study the science of materials. And the college they go to has a big textile, like program, I guess. So I was talking about like how interesting it would be to develop textiles, and that is something I talked about. Well, I have talked about it, but like thought about mostly. Like how I could develop textiles, which is such a, like, you know, I can't say it won't happen, but.
I studied material science. We'll definitely talk more. There's a lot we could talk about, actually. It's really interesting what you can do with carbon, and in terms of materials, I know a lot of weird little things about materials, particularly indigenous material, like the Bolivian sewing method that the women in Bolivia used. They're now taking these women that made these cheap blankets. They're just amazing, ornate, meticulous work, and they're having them stitch heart tubes that connect for ventricle surgeries. And so they found that this is the way it can stretch and move. It's super important. And, and also the denim.
Wow.
Denim is not the Egyptian cotton. It's not the tribe of Levites indigo dye. Denim is a form of knot, a kind of knot stitching that makes denim possible. So knowing these things, and this relates back to the Scotch sailors with their astrology, knowing different knots and how ropes work is huge in what you're doing with the material and what you're doing with the fabric.
Especially for style, because fabrics have to lay a certain way, or you have to cut them in certain directions. Like there's so many nuances that change.
There's definitely an episode of Degrassi where the guy becomes a Schneider and he's like, snip and rip, it all comes back to Degrassi.
Rest in peace, Degrassi.
I want to buy your Faraday outfit to sleep
I want to. So
I'm serious.
I was looking into it, and so I haven't made it yet, but thank you. I will keep that in mind. That is something I actually am serious about. But I want to be able to use natural dyes. Like that's the thing. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them are polyester, like based. Some of them that I was looking at. I found some really good websites. I would have to go into my bookmarks. And I did find some that I could naturally dye. So it's something I have to experiment with. It is expensive. So it's definitely an investment.
Start with the color yellow, because that's where your Venus is and it rules your midheaven. So find a natural dye for yellow, and also like noting
there's
have Rahu.
So many. There's so many for yellow. It's wild.
Well, then it's the easiest one,
It is. It really is the easiest color.
Dandelions, goldenrod, nettles,
and just noting you have Rahu right on your Venus, and I mean it's squaring Saturn. Like none of this is going to be easy, but it's going to satisfy you. It's going to make you feel good about yourself. So yeah, get on it.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, Kara. We appreciate it. Giant, did you want to say anything about that?
Just me, I look at things in a little bit of a picture or symbolic way. But if you notice that your Mercury and your Sun is looking at your Saturn area, which is your Capricorn and Aquarius.
Yes.
And then that points at your conjunction in Taurus, which Taurus is obviously all your material wants and needs and stuff like that. And it kind of it makes a diamond shape in your chart that you will find where it makes you your diamond. And I think it's obvious through what everybody's been speaking about that you will do well in material arena, and Mercury is your ability to translate that. And
I feel like the key to it for me too is like I also just have so many clothes and just so much stuff, and I do feel like if I just start to part with most of my stuff and become less attached, I will like bring in just the energy and the resources.
You have to empty your cup to fill it.
I do, because I just have too much. Like I know I have too much, and it's so hard. For some reason, clothes are just like it's clothes I don't wear for like 5 years. I'm like, I can't get rid of it. And like they're so sentimental.
Yeah, Saturn's judging you while Jupiter is telling you to buy more and more and more.
Oh my God, so much excess. Yeah.
But
I'm a shopaholic.
Saturn wants to be a minimalist. So yeah, you're gonna have to try to figure that out, and you know it more than anybody else does because it's in you, it's embedded in. But you'll figure that out. But yeah, that's definitely it shows in your chart. It's gonna be one of your difficulties is balancing that Saturn, Jupiter, and Taurus, and how to balance that. But once you do, from what I can see, it looks like you'll become a diamond in that arena for sure.
Yeah, that's good.
Which is the best way to stitch carbon together, actually, is diamond. Diamond's the nanostructure.
Very interesting.
And so, like, what you're doing, too, is helping to fulfill the promise of that final Jupiter-Saturn conjunction in Earth signs, which won't happen again anytime in our lifetime.
Well, except for me, because I'm going to be immortal. But...
Oh, of course. Of course. but like, part of that is letting go of this over obsession with material things
Yes.
and material reality, right? And the Age of Air is bringing new ideas back into a world that demystified itself. Over the course of the Age of Earth, which was all about industrialization and getting rid of religions and getting rid of mysticism entirely, right? So, I mean, there's what you're talking about with clothes and making them more functional and helpful to the modern world, especially the Faraday cage. Well, not cage. Your clothes are not a cage. It's beautiful, but the Faraday idea is the promise of that chart. It's beautiful. Like, yeah,
Faraday shield. Right?
Yeah,
It's
Faraday linens. Wait, you said a Faraday shield?
Yeah, Faraday shield. Yeah, like especially for nighttime. Like I've seen the inspiration because I've seen people not wear them on planes, but like online they wore stuff for planes. So then that got me thinking about loungewear, nightwear, or like just some type of hat or something that you can wear at night or anywhere.
Either that or make a tent over the bed, a canopy.
Yeah, a canopy. I thought about that.
I would
like
love
for
that.
like the canopy.
Yeah, me too. I've thought about that a lot.
If you can make it like or curtains too,
Right.
because I wanted to make Faraday curtains. I was thinking about that also.
Okay, I want the tent. I want the tent over my bed, but Andreas's face on it. Okay, so
I want that too. You know,
Leo rising.
Okay, well, we're 3 hours deep. Kara, thank you so much. Is there anything else you wanted to ask?
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
I appreciate the insight.
Awesome. Okay, well, we are super deep in this. It's 3 hours and 10 minutes in. I think we're going to have to pull it. We'll do it next week again, and that would be awesome.
Oh my God, thank God.
No, you know, it's like an exorcism, right? Like he's just like this house is clean. Okay, good job.
Janet, thanks for showing up. Check out Top 40 Honeypot. People, buy that book.
What's the name of the book, Janet? I want to show it on the screen.
Top 40 Honeypot.
Top 40 Honeypot. So everybody, this is Janet's book. Let me just get it here. It's on Amazon, and it's really, I mean, I haven't read it yet, but from what I heard just now from Noah not being able to put it down, let me just read the synopsis. The year is 1974. And Donnie Dixon is hired as a program director of one of the most popular top 40 radio stations in the country. But he soon finds out that behind the excitement of the music, the contest, and the big money prizes is a dark world of crime, betrayal, and deceit. Be prepared for a thriller like no other inside the world of the top 40 Honeypot. And we all know what honeypots are these days. So, I mean, I'm going to get a copy myself. And hey, if you got Kindle, you can even audiobook it, which is pretty sweet. So I might do that. I might listen to it. That's awesome looking cover, by the way. Interesting. Janet, thank you so much. We really appreciate that you were here. And like you stuck it out. That was about as long as Titanic, both tapes. So
thanks for showing up, Giant. That was some good insight there. I appreciate that.
Yeah, Noah, bro. You're a fucking genius, bro. I mean, how quickly this I'm amazed. You know, I'm no astrologer. I know a little bit about it, but man, you got that mind, brother.
Everyone looking up at the stars is an astrologer.
Yeah,
awesome, cool.
And I got a Patreon if anyone's interested. Facing North Astrology Patreon. Join the Patreon. I'll do some private work for you.
Yeah, so let's show that. So you guys, if you want to do some more private work, you go to Facing North Astrology. And it's right here, Facing North Astrology on Patreon. And you know, he's doing amazing work here. It's amazing that you're able to hear kind of an idea about what he does from each other. But some of you, I know, you're trying to keep yourselves on the DL. So if you want to do a private reading, you know, this is the best place to get it. I trust Noah more than most people, and definitely with astrology, you know, you're my number one go-to now. So I appreciate what you've done for me and for everybody here.
Beautiful. All right.
Sweet. All right. Well, see you next week. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Janet.
That was great. Thank you.
Good night.
Hasta la vista. Watch Degrassi.